Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello, hello.
I love
Hi.
that clip. Hello. Good evening, Beard.
Howdy. How are you?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Excellent. I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be here. Nobody's surprised. This is a first watch for me. Looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wasn't quite sure exactly how to take this the first half because it kind of takes its time getting going, but once it gets in there, it gets in there.
Yeah, it does. It does. Shieldwall, how are you doing, sir?
Doing good. This is also a first watch for me. I had heard of the movie, but I had never actually seen it before. Just because, there's so many movies out there. I think when I saw the cover for it initially, I thought it was like kind of a chick flick or something, so I steered away from it. Back in the day. But yeah, happy to be here. Ready to get into it.
And returning, the nicest mouse I know, Squeeka. Welcome back.
Hi, thanks for having me. I've seen this movie so many times. I'm kidding. This is my first time too. It was awesome. I loved it, and I wish it had been an interrupted showing, so it was kind of more cohesive to me. But yeah, I was with Beard on it. I was like, it took its time, and then I was like, oh, holy moly! So yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Good to have you back. And the Mando. Hello.
Hello. I did not get a chance to actually watch the movie. This would not have been my first time seeing it, but the last time I saw it was with my grandmother watching, I think it was TLC with all of the older movies. So it's a little rusty. It's in there. Just gotta
you've seen it
out
before, at least then, so you kind of have an
yes.
idea.
That's good.
All right, we'll forgive you just this once.
Thank you, Squeeka. I was so worried.
And it sounds like some of us have had some interesting last few days, but
just because someone got lit on fire does not mean that it was me.
It wasn't me being lit on fire either. I'm not the someone. Just saying.
No.
This is true. You know what? It's my life. I should accept my fate that weird things just happen either to or around me and not be surprised.
Just
carry
a notebook with you, and when it happens, jot it down because it's going to be funny to tell all later, and you're going to get the details.
Yeah.
Although I
write it down for your memoirs,
maybe using non-flammable materials to write down with.
Yeah.
No, you call a trusted friend and put them on like speaker phone or something so they can stream it. That's what all the kids do nowadays. Like, y'all are never gonna believe this. And then
if I had had my phone on me, I probably would have recorded, but I don't think that would have been the right thing to do when your friend is on fire.
On fire, no.
Yeah,
no,
not
Mando.
videoing your friend. Just
Instead
set
of
it next
using
to the
the
fire
hose
and be like, guys.
or calling an ambulance, film it.
Correct.
Let the neighbors call the ambulance.
That's true. The neighbors were very intrigued about what was going on.
See, and this is why owning a flamethrower is a good idea.
Right?
Exactly.
That was so much fun until someone caught on fire.
The heavy flamer part. Brother.
Yeah, the heavy flamer. As opposed to just pouring it out onto the ground.
I'll write that on my grocery list, Shieldwall. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you can probably get one of the tractors.
I'm not sure what
tractor
supply might have it. Yeah.
Or Home Depot.
So anywho, let's say hello to the chat real quick. And we got AJ in here. What's up, man? And of course, the Gourd King. Hello.
I'm
Yes,
doing that right
Pictionary.
now.
It-
I'm
it
running in
is-
heels.
It is Pictionary, right? Is how we're doing it tonight. So that'll be fun. Who else we got here? Love it. Hey, love it.
Hello.
There we go. So yeah, that's everybody. Welcome. Let's first I'm going to make a little announcement. Starting August 10th means some people will be playing a little D&D, sort of D&D. I can't get the thing to come up. Beard.
You're going to be throwing the
Can you
math
get that
rocks
to come
around.
up? There we go. So yes, August
I was just
10th,
thinking-
I will be with some other people. We'll be playing Horror on the Orient Express, but with D&D characters. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. We'll be like in the 1920s. I'm excited about this one. It'll be great. So, and I have 2 spots available if anybody out there is. I know it's a big commitment, but if anybody's out there that would like to join in, just hit me up on Twitter. And let's get into this movie. Share screen. Come on.
The
Of course, it doesn't want to
technology,
work for you.
The technology.
right?
It's because you gave those raccoons cotton candy. They're mad at you now.
Mhm.
It was. They're mad.
That video almost makes me feel bad for him. Almost.
Almost. Yeah, almost. There's actually a longer version of that video where the raccoon figures out, they give him more, and he figures out not to put it in water.
See, they are smarter than they pretend.
Yes.
Back when Universal still made good movies.
Yeah, and my mom quizzes me on composers and stuff. So Henry Mancini wrote the music for this movie.
He is so awesome. I love the intro
He
to
is.
this movie so much. I watched it 3 times, kid you not. That's one of the reasons it took so long to get into the movie.
Yeah.
All right.
And this guy gets
It's
falls or throws.
Still stuck on
in
the very
drain.
beginning. Oh, there we go.
yeah, it's delayed in updating on our end, it looks like, for some reason. But
Oh.
it's on the face
Shoot.
laying in the ditch now.
Okay.
Well, not this part of the movie, but an intro. I meant the cooler part of the intro, just for.
Yes, you watched this guy get thrown out of the train like 6 or 7 times.
Many
Yeah,
times, yeah.
It's one of my favorite things. It's not. I mean, I would have never throw someone off of a train, ever.
Unless they really deserved it.
Right. So it's definitely very 60s.
Yes.
It is
Favorite part.
So cool.
the intro with the swirly colors and everything, and the music. It's all drums and stuff. It's very 1960s. Well, it was decades ahead of its time. That's for sure.
This is the part that I kid you not, I watched. But after the 3rd time, I was gonna do a 4th, but I was like, no, I gotta watch this movie. I really like this part.
I've got to be able to comment on more than just the opening couple of minutes.
But do you really?
I mean, it is a great opening couple of minutes.
It's got a pretty big cast of, well, they're
Mhm.
well known now. Maybe some of them weren't quite as well known at the time. Uh, Audrey Hepburn was, of course. She'd already been nominated. She'd already won an Oscar
yeah.
and been nominated for like 2 by this point. Carrie,
I love these things.
the little pinwheels.
But I love things like kaleidoscopes. So like
Mhm.
this is I had to watch this a few times.
Psychedelic, as the old people would say.
But yeah, this had a younger Walter Matthau in it. Although he wasn't really, that young.
And he's also, even when he
Now
was
this-
young, he
they're
never
in
really
the-
looked young.
French Alps here, I think. Is that right?
I think so.
I believe so.
Are there French Alps?
Yeah, there's mountains in France. There's
Yeah.
the border with Spain, the Pyrenees or whatever. So
Yes, it is French Alps, officially.
yeah.
At least according to the script. And I figured they might as well. They probably filmed there.
So
I mean, 'cause
some of the
there were
other
a couple of shots
yeah.
that I thought they were using like rear projection, but then you could see breath actually, so they must have been filming somewhere actually.
This is real. There's not real rear
yeah.
projection at all. This is really at a resort. It's got all the 60s colors going with it.
In
That's
the 60s fashion style.
Yeah, the 60s fashion style, which, yeah.
That's
Man.
got to be cold water, man. That's got to be cold.
Cold water.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I can't
What?
remember
You guys don't take cold showers every morning? Everyone did that.
In the beginning, it said that her entire wardrobe was provided by some kind of famous
Da Vinci.
design company.
I remember that because it's like one of the 2 names I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, I know this.
so she's talking about leaving her husband because he's
As one does.
off everywhere
Yeah.
in the French Alps. Yeah.
And also these 2 ladies are kind of rude because they just straight up leave the door open to the cold outside.
Yeah. Right.
Everybody in the heated pools just getting a draft.
It's a French resort. I'm sure there's a door person.
If
Yeah,
you look
probably.
at these buildings
frozen
at
to
the
the floor.
time, these were all very modern. There's a bunch of buildings like the one where she works at as a translator later in the movie. That's like a lot of aluminum steel frames with glass and stuff. So yeah, they shot this on location.
Yeah.
And at the time, you got to, to us, this is an old movie. At the time this came out, this was a very modern movie. The styles were modern. The cars were modern. The buildings were ultra modern. This was like a super big resort, that.
It's probably still a big
Yeah.
resort to this
Right.
day.
Yeah, but
Probably.
I mean, it was more for like rich upper class people. You know what I mean?
Because they do mention the who do they mention here? Oh goodness, some famous family, the Rothschilds.
Oh
So
yeah, the Rothschilds.
That's what kind of place this is.
Well, and if
Cary
you look at
Grant
her,
and her
Sorry.
play so well off each other.
They really do.
if you look at her wardrobe too, it's a little snazzier than the surrounding extras.
Right. Well, yeah, you want to dress
Yeah.
them that way to make, kind of stand out, but nobody's wearing anything. Most of the people in the background are wearing, standard styles for the time. So a lot of movies that Cary Grant's in with other women he gets criticized for, not him, but the movie does, because of the age gap is pretty big. And when this movie came out, Audrey Hepburn was already in her 30s. She's like 33 or something. So it was only a 25-year age gap, so it wasn't quite so bad.
Only 25.
Yeah,
I mean,
Oh,
it's Cary
Lynn.
Grant. I'd do 25 years for.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, pretty soon after this, he made a couple more movies and then he retired from acting. and only did like a one-man stage show where he just talked about his he would show like clips from movies and then people could ask him questions. So I guess it was like pre Comic-Con panel Hall H or something that he was doing in like the 80s or whatever.
You know, I know I just gonna go ahead and state it. I know I'm reading too much into this because I'm very doubtful it was intentional. But those two are the only two people we see get shot in the face with that water gun, and of the core crew that is like central to this plot, which two make it to the end?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Maybe that kid's just good at picking out people who don't deserve to catch a bullet.
I don't know. I think he did the good Cary Grant just because he was like, "Hey, you talking to my aunt there? That's my person. I'm gonna shoot you in the face with water. Back away. You're
I
too
get the
old for
feeling
her."
he was just doing that to anybody he could get away with. I think he's just a little snot.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Look at that! Look at that luggage
in the face.
That's Gucci luggage, isn't it?
Don't clip that. Do not clip that. That was misspoke.
Yeah, isn't that
Don't ask me. I don't know anything about style.
What?
Look at me.
the
luggage there?
Yeah, the luggage. It's got the logo on it.
Oh,
Is that-
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably Givenchy still. Didn't they do luggage and stuff too?
Maybe, but it looks like
Gucci?
yeah, it looks like Gucci to me.
Shieldwall's
Yeah,
the
that
fashion
would've been
expert.
real.
I'm gonna take Shieldwall shopping for my next wardrobe because I don't
They
know
sell
nothing about
Gucci
that.
on the street corners. You know that, right?
Mm,
It's a lot cheaper.
I heard something wrong.
yeah, I have been. Well, I didn't buy anything, but I have been shopping
Okay,
in Venice,
Despite
Italy.
having only two
What?
Vuitton,
That's gotta be cool.
only
I mean,
two Vuitton
also-
suitcases. So they were Vuitton.
That's it.
They
Yeah,
could
Louis
be
Vuitton.
Gucci
That's
because
what I
Gucci
was
was
thinking.
around
Okay.
during this time.
No, it wasn't Gucci. It was Louis Vuitton. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Exactly. See, I am a guy. I don't know anything about fashion.
I'm,
Gotta
that's
So-
okay. I'm a guy too. I don't know anything either.
She comes home and finds out her husband left her and sold
Yep,
everything.
He was talking about divorcing him, and he sold everything and cleaned her out.
Well, this part gets me because like I don't know how much luggage she had in that suitcase, but she is so sharply dressed for having nothing. She's so sharply dressed for the rest of
Yeah,
the movie.
she
Like,
is.
how did
That's
she
because
pull that off?
Is
that all
because
from her
she had
luggage?
like six suitcases full of stuff.
Man, this woman packs. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Well, she went on vacation.
Yeah.
So back then, when you went on vacation, like the richer you were and the farther back in time you go, the more luggage you had. Like if it was like the 1850s and you went on a safari, you took like 40
Months
tons of
worth,
stuff. Yeah,
Because it would have
exactly.
taken you months to get to the place.
Well, not only that,
Right.
back then, if you wanted to go to dinner, you had to change like your entire outfit. Like men
Yeah,
had to
you
have a
had to
special
do that.
jacket, and I got to put the smoking jacket on now, and I got to have 4 of those, and
Oh,
they
man, I
would
want a
like
smoking
lug
jacket.
Yeah,
entire tables around so that you could have like a table with chairs with linen tablecloths.
That's why the servant. That's why they
silverware.
needed the servants because the servants carried all the stuff.
Exactly.
But her wardrobe was cool. But can we take a moment to appreciate like the paneling and the wardrobe behind her, like the
Oh, yeah.
the architecture on the walls, like that? I paused it when she was opening the panels and things because it was that's so pretty.
It is. So a policeman shows up.
This guy slightly reminded me of the dad from Mary Poppins. That ran the bank.
A little bit, yeah.
Now you're gonna make me
Or
go watch Mary Poppins.
I
Despicable
actually just
Me
watched
guy.
Mary Poppins a couple weeks ago. Now Chimney is stuck in my head.
Look what you did.
So she arrives home. The entire house is gone. They're like, yeah, he sold it at auction and bounced out. And then now they take her down to the morgue to see if this body they have on ice is her husband or not. Of course, they had a lot of ID with them, so they were pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, my question would be, how long
It's a
was
good
she
shot.
gone for, and how fast was he able to sell all that stuff? Because that would have taken a while.
Well, she might have been up there for because it was an extended
Well-
vacation.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the luggage, so she was there for a while.
And he may have sold it and been on the run, so there may have been time between selling it and.
Yeah, that said 5/4/63, and then there's 5/11 63. I think that is a little bit of a shadow on it, but
I think
Hey,
I saw
that's just a
somewhere in
couple
the
months
trivia.
before my 20th birthday.
Yeah, I think I saw somewhere in the trivia that 5/4/63 was Hepburn's 34th birthday.
oh really?
Yeah.
Well, my
it was-
thing is that it wasn't a few more months later until Kennedy. So,
Oh,
but
okay,
if
yep.
you look at her,
Yeah.
look at what she's wearing, this is like some of the stuff that Jackie O was wearing, except a different color, but same kind of hat looking thing. And,
Yeah.
and stewardesses on the airlines had hats like that.
Howdy, Roman.
Yeah, the big button jackets too were
Yeah.
like a thing. With
Love
the,
it. Yeah, Love It said she bring back that attire. I
Yep.
agree.
Yeah. Roman had to
I have
specify
I have a little
the good
Jackie O
ones,
hat and
not the
jacket like
creepy
that. I
ladies.
love it.
Do you still wear your hair in a beehive hairstyle?
I sure do. I have some extra Aquanet on hand just to keep it up.
Yeah, Aquanet with horned rim glasses.
Oh, don't have enough.
I
beard
like
to do
this
that.
part. He's like, shows her all the different passports.
Oh yeah, let's see, it looks actually like a Swiss passport,
Mhm.
and then an American passport, then a Chilean passport, and then an Italian
An
passport.
Italian passport, right? And she's saying her husband is Swiss,
Oh, Swiss, yeah.
right?
Okay.
She thinks he's Swiss. Doesn't really. I can't remember if they say how long they've been married, but and he's got a Lufthansa
Is it-
bag.
Well,
That's a nice bag, by the way.
Considering how quickly she falls for the dude later on, they couldn't have been married for that long.
Yeah, but that style of bag is like a really nice kind of gym bag looking thing for me, anyway.
I mean, regardless, it's certainly a bag
He's
that
like,
you would expect
"Look,
to have more than just a handful of
powder."
things in.
I love all the stamps and the intercom system. I mean,
I like
some of
how
these, yeah.
I like how he has a bottle of booze on his desk.
Yeah, bring that back. Come on now.
But I do that
And
at my
cigars,
job.
booze and cigars on his desk.
Yep.
I have several in my desk.
Whatever it
Yeah,
takes to
this
get
is
through the
where
day.
they're showing the different different passports.
Oh, we got smoking again. What was the movie
Oh
last?
yeah, most people
last
smoked back
Thursday.
then. It wasn't weird.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that aliens.
doctors were telling you that
Alien.
it was healthy for you to smoke.
In 1963,
Yeah,
yeah,
good
they were
for you.
still
Talking
they were
about
still
it.
on that train. Yep.
Well, and we won't even
It's
say
long.
what was in
It's
their
long
garbage
bottom
and
leaf.
things.
It's long bottom leaf cigarettes. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's right. Apparently, they stuck tape over the ears of Cary Grant there because the backlight made them glow red and it looked goofy.
Oh, you can see like the light through his ears.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the facial expression that she makes. Like, I think this is actually my first Hepburn movie, so I'm in love with her. I'm totally in love with her.
You got to
Me
see her
too.
when she was 10 years before this. Holy smokes!
Yeah.
I don't know if I can handle it.
Roman Holiday.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
wow. I mean, she's amazing in this, and but yeah, you want to talk about smoking?
And she just was smoking. I mean,
And
she doesn't have
do you know she never went to like? I mean, she did do some like acting in like school, and she went to like a ballet school and things like that. But you know, she got discovered. She went into the modeling, and that's how she got discovered. And they had her do like a non-speaking role, and then they gave her a speaking role, and she busted out big time just from that because she, you know, she could actually act.
She's awesome. I love, like I said, I love her facial expressions.
So I think her husband married her just so he would blend in more.
Right.
Yeah.
I just had a thought. Do you think she would have made a good Mary Poppins?
I don't.
Hmm.
I
I'd have to see Mary Poppins first.
Are you saying
I have
you've
to hear
never
her
seen
sing.
Mary Poppins?
I have never seen Mary Poppins. Don't judge me,
What?
Shieldwall. Don't make that sound at me. I feel in trouble.
I've been on the receiving end of that tone too many times. I won't. make
Forgive
it.
me.
That's like-
Forgive
that's
me,
like-
Father.
That's like somebody telling me they've never had an orange or something.
Well, you see, I've never had. No, I'm just kidding. I've had an orange.
Like I've never drank water before. I can understand if you told
Who
me you
needs
had
water?
this like
I don't drink water.
Terminator or Terminator 2 or Commando or some kind of Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I could buy that. But Mary Poppins?
I'm sorry, Shieldwall. I'll remedy that as soon as possible. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Don't judge me.
This whole funeral sequence is great.
Oh yes, I
Yeah.
love
See,
that.
this is one of the first. That right here is one of the first things that made me like wonder. Wait a minute, is this supposed to be a comedy or what?
Yeah,
I don't know how to feel about this movie yet because like she turns around and says, "Well, at least he knows how to behave at a funeral because he looks like he's got his head down, it's like he's praying, he's clipping his nails."
He's clipping his fingernails.
I want to know what was up with the mirror. What was the mirror for?
To see if it fogs, like
To
if
see if
he's
his-
Yeah,
breathing.
if he's
Bugs up.
breathing. Like if he's just
Oh, really?
breathing.
Did you could just
Right.
lean down and like smooched him? Oh,
No,
Bye.
that was a standard thing way back. People would hold a mirror up to people's
Jacob?
face to see if they were.
The
did
raccoons,
the
got
raccoons
him.
get you?
They
The
didn't like.
raccoons!
They're
didn't like the
upset
cotton
about the
candy.
cotton candy.
maybe he got mad that I haven't seen Mary Poppins.
Yeah, that's probably it. His internet was like, "What? No Mary Poppins." Yeah, it's a great movie. Highly recommend it.
I
Or
think you'd really enjoy it.
You can read the book
I'm
or go see a stage play about it.
Oh, I'd see a stage play.
Yeah, I saw one in Fort Worth, Texas. It was like a musical. It was pretty good.
There's a musical. Oh, gotta
You know
find
what?
that.
A musical what?
Somewhere, Jacob, you need to work Mary Poppins into your schedule so we can.
Well, Mary
bring Squeeka
Poppins
back.
is a musical, by the way. She sings in it.
It
there's lots
is.
of dancing, and there's an animated
I have to.
penguin dance scene, and
I mean, I know some of it because I mean it's iconic. So I know
Yeah.
some of it, and I've heard some of the songs off and on, like, but I've never actually watched it in its entirety.
Now Chim
So-
Chimney's stuck in my head again.
See, I like what's the line here is like, well, he definitely knew him because he was familiar with him because he's allergic to him.
He's sneezing
And
in
this
his
guy
face to
comes in,
see if he's dead.
Yeah.
I know people that sneeze in my face, and I'm alive. Wait a minute.
Yeah, this guy, he's like, he looks at her and just like runs right into chairs or the policeman. He runs right into the policeman.
He's like, I'm just gonna sit. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna sit here. This dude.
Yeah.
He's not even like hiding it. It's like, all right, good enough. All right.
Yep. No breath on that.
Good enough for me. Here's a flower.
They just
Yeah.
And he
side
says something
eyeing.
like, Charlie shouldn't have done what he did, or something like that, and just walks off. It's like, okay.
So is the pin for the same reason? Like, is that what the straight pin is for?
Yes, to see if he reacts.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all escalating methods to see if the guy's alive. Like, because if the guy with the mirror didn't hide it, this dude just straight up like, I don't care who sees me do this.
Face. The other lady's like, oh, that looks dangerous.
Eyes get as big as saucers.
It's like, all right, I ain't even staying.
But he's gone. Next.
I like that guy's haircut.
Yeah, it's a good haircut.
Yeah,
Just a little off the top.
just a little. Yes. Got to go meet with Hamilton
I'm-
Bartholomew.
Glad somebody says noon 30 besides me. I say noon 30 and midnight 30. I'm glad somebody says that besides me.
What are you, from the UK?
No, I'm probably more Texan than you are. So
Oh my goodness, let's don't have a Texan off.
get my spurs on. I'll show you, boy.
Them's fighting word.
Mando, hold it in. I could see the jokes brewing. This is a family show.
I love the leopard hat. He likes the leopard print hat there.
I'm telling you, her clothes. Like, how much luggage did she have? Because these are some heavy coats. Like, how did
Hey,
those suitcases
like-
could not have held so many coats?
Like Mary Poppins, her bag is bigger on the inside. Mary
Yes.
Poppins was a Time Lord, okay?
I like that theory.
So was
Yeah.
what's his name? Oh darn it. Never mind. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the
Oh, Willy Wonka?
Willy Wonka.
Going back to what Shieldwall said, I like the picture of Kennedy on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he was a huge Hepburn fan. And apparently later on they dubbed over a line because I think this was set to release right after the assassination and they didn't want to trigger people with mentioning that word. Has this man ever not looked like Walter Matthau? I mean, if you see him like when he's 5 years old, could you still tell it's Walter Matthau?
Yeah, I don't know. Was he born with that mustache?
I have no idea who this man is.
You,
What now?
Bye. Goodbye,
Oh, no,
Felicia.
you made Beard leave.
It's nice seeing you. Does that mean I win the Texan battle since I made him leave first? Yeehaw! I won. Made you walk of shame.
I'm not the one that doesn't know who Walter Matthau is.
I'm sure I know him. I just don't know him by name. Like I'm maybe I've seen him in other things. I don't know.
Officer a sandwich.
You don't know
Liver
who
or
Walter
chicken?
Matthau? Okay, well, going back to the whole Mary Poppins thing, anything is possible now.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah,
Yeah.
like you were saying, Jacob, he offers her, I've got liverwurst, chicken, liverwurst, and liverwurst. Okay.
Chicken, please.
Also,
don't make
middle
me
of the
Google
day,
him.
just crack open a bottle of wine
He-
for your guests,
you know,
as one does.
He is good at playing serious and comedic roles.
yeah, he looks like a
At the
creeper
same
with
time.
that mustache, though.
He does.
He needs
does.
to let
Especially
it
that
grow
look.
in. It
little
needs
bit,
to grow in a lot more thicker than that, or just shave it.
He does well playing as like a serious role that like where the guy feels uncomfortable trying to be personable. Like, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but he I don't know.
Shows her a
I've seen
picture of
none
his
of these
kids.
movies on his list. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, you got some
Yeah,
watching to do.
drinking wine at work. Of course, it is the 60s and it is France.
Yeah.
Was Mando just drinking a bottle of wine right out of the bottle? What?
Water?
Oh, I thought
Oh,
it was a
okay.
bottle of shampoo.
Way to keep them pipes
They do.
clean, man. No.
But they do. They sell water now that comes in glass bottles, and they unscrew the top. It looks like shampoo bottles or something, like fancy shampoo bottles.
So he.
So here's a very important part
Picture,
of
yeah.
what's going on. So her husband, apparently, he had the reason that he was killed is that during the war back in 1944, he was part of what was called the OSS, Office of Special they call it the OSS, but there's also the OSE. But basically, it's a precursor to CIA,
Yeah.
and that's who this guy is supposed to be. Walter Matthau says he's from the CIA.
The CIA, yeah.
And that these guys during World War II, if we go through the pictures here, they were tasked with smuggling $250,000 worth of American dollars worth of gold into France and giving it to the French resistance, but it wound up going missing. And they said that the Germans captured the gold and it disappeared.
Yeah. And in that picture is not only her dead husband, but the three guys who showed up at his funeral.
Right. Those guys that showed up at the funeral. And he goes through.
But who's taking the picture?
You know what? I didn't even put two and two together there. Good point,
Right.
Jacob. Good point.
Although I just assumed since it was a picture like that, it could have just been a military photographer or whatever.
Yeah. It's funner to wonder who that fifth person is taking the picture, though.
It was me. I took it.
I knew it.
It was. See?
Look at those adorable salt and pepper shakers.
Office of Strategic Services. That's what OSS stood for. And it's like a precursor to the CIA and like special forces. They kind of rolled all that stuff into one during World War II. So they were basically trained spies. They were spies, is what they were.
Yeah, he also says that her husband took the money for himself, and that's why those guys are after him.
Right.
He's like, "You have the money, Mrs. Crabber." And I'm sorry.
She's like, "I do."
It's a running gag in this movie that like she eats when she's stressed, right? Like she pulls out a snack out of her purse at the morgue. She sits down and she breaks the news and she asks for a sandwich. Later on, Cary Grant says, "You must be famished. You've only eaten 7 times today."
Yeah, and then one time she sits down, she's like, "I could be a horse." Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the thing about this scene that this doesn't capture. She's eating this sandwich, and so is he, and they're like talking with their mouth full of stuff. And it really took me out of the scene. I was like, I don't know how many takes I had to do, but.
Well, at least she like tucked it over into the side of her mouth when she spoke. He just had it like right there at the front, like
that's what I mean. Yeah,
and smacking too, and he was smacking too.
Yeah. Yep. And I was like, wow.
It's that liver. It gets stuck, in your top of your mouth.
Early ages ASMR. Is that what this is?
Yeah, I guess so.
And that must have been a very moist sandwich to not want anything to drink with it.
Oh, both fingers, kid.
Right?
At the same time.
Get it, friend. Get
If
it.
your nose is if your nose is bleeding, you're picking it too much or not enough.
Howdy, Zax.
Hey, Zax.
Oh, this was fun. The kids
Maximilian.
are watching Punch and Judy puppet show.
How many people knew that this was Punch and Judy before they said anything about this being Punch and Judy?
Oh,
Me?
I did.
I actually knew that. See, I'm
I did.
smart,
I
Beard.
did.
You'd be surprised.
I
how
grew up
far
on
back-
some British mysteries, so
Well, you'd be surprised how far back the Punch and Judy puppet shows actually
Oh
go.
yeah.
Like
oh yeah, long time.
yeah, like at least the 17th century, if not earlier than that.
But
Sometimes the story changes and what they do and whatever, but
See, I like how this is basically kind of like summarizing what we're seeing here. Is like she's being accused of killing him, her husband, by the police, just as the inspector comes walking up behind him. It's like, but she didn't really, do it or whatever. It's like, because he's faking it, and you see Punch get up and like he runs away, and he's like, but I still believe her or whatever. I don't know. It's just kind of this weird thing. It's kind of setting up your expectations to everything going forward. You're not really going to get an answer to for a while.
Yeah.
And then they gang up on the cop. All right, you can stop right there for a second. Just let that frame sit for a minute. I think we can all appreciate that.
Okay. Mhm.
You know, we better move on. People are going to get bored.
I'm still appreciating
All
you.
right.
Shush.
this next whole sequence was, I mean, I've seen people play this orange game, but I don't know. This guy was a weirdo. I've been like, get away from me, creeper.
Hey,
No, but
good. There's
yes,
no
This game is
French
fun though.
with us here, so these people are French. Okay, they're a little weird.
Actually, this actor
That's
is
strange.
Scottish.
I appreciate the
What?
fact that he ran through every instruction in like 3 or 4 different languages.
Right.
It makes
He's
it
a
much more
comedian.
believable.
Yeah.
They don't like it when you bite into the orange for the
Well,
orange game, though.
that's the thing is, I get that this is like stuff they did for fun, but man, you would get me too'd so hard to playing this game now, especially with this
today,
older
yeah.
lady here. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
apparently in the background, smoking a cigarette is Audrey Hepburn's husband, just watching this play out.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's not really anything that bad about it.
Oh,
It's
I know.
just-
To me, it would be weird just to
Yeah.
stand there and watch it, though.
in today's day and age, though, people
This is
be like,
great.
"Eh."
Hey, I guarantee that lady's not complaining right now. Okay.
No.
Well, if it was these days, that wouldn't be a lady.
I'm
Yeah.
no lady.
Yeah, that'd be a man.
So fun fact: my beard prevents me from playing this game. Nothing
Oh, no, we can work with
nothing
that.
stays underneath my
we
chin.
can work with it. We can get this. Okay, hold on, I got an orange.
You should.
You just haven't trained it to like become like octopus tentacles and just grab it.
It's not quite to David
Whoa,
Jones
whoa.
levels yet.
Also, that is not a very orange-looking orange.
It's because it's probably a real orange and not
No,
the
that's
ones they fake today.
It's not ripe all the way. It's
I've
still
seen
got some
oranges like
green
that.
in it. Yeah.
I like that smile on Audrey Hepburn's face. She's like, "Yeah, get down there. You get it."
You got to remember, this is 1963. This was super racy for back then.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Get that orange off them coconuts.
All right, we're just a little bit distracted. All right, never mind. Back to it. And then
Oh yeah.
Like
Okay, maybe not stop on that
One of the bad
exact
guys.
freeze frame.
Is that your favorite frame there, Beard?
No.
she kicks him in the shin. The look on his face is great.
So what happened? He stepped on my foot.
Ah,
It was
my
an
shin.
accident, unintentional, I swear. But yes, he basically just like threatened her. We know you have the money. We're gonna find it, et cetera, et cetera.
It's probably
Now
an
here we get a
Louis Vuitton
reenactment of Mando with matches.
I'm sour on fire.
This is a pretty
Man.
threatening scene, like thing to do.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's decently creepy,
Yeah.
even still.
I was like, why doesn't she? What she should have done was just been like, and blew him out
Just blow
each
him
time
out.
he did it. Yeah, because he was
Yeah.
just putting him in her face. You know.
That's what I didn't get either. Was why didn't she just blow it out? I'm with you. I was like, wait, why are you
You're-
staring at it?
I stumbled upon some photo evidence of Mando starting fires. I'm not saying that you're the one that lit your friend on fire, but you know,
Mando, the proper thing to say is, I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Oh, I thought it was "This is the way."
Oh,
No, this is the
that
flame.
too.
This is the flame.
but yeah, she ran in there to call to Walter Matthau's character because he gave her like his direct line, which is important to remember later.
I just love
He
rotary
goes in,
phone.
"What's the problem?" And she says, "I'm having a nervous breakdown."
Just ignore the smell of lit matches and all the half burned matches on the ground, burns on my dress.
Yeah, right.
It's fine. I'm just having a breakdown.
And she has limited supply of clothing too.
Yep. I love the hotel security. Just asleep.
Yeah.
The front desk guy. And I love these old elevators. I don't think I would want to ride in one,
Yeah,
but
they're
I
cool.
love them.
Yeah.
I love how tiny all the elevators are too. They're so cute.
Yeah. They are.
The El Rancho hotel in Gallup, New Mexico. It's like a big lodge kind of hotel that was built in the 30s for all the actors to stay at when they filmed the westerns out there. That has really cool, like, you got to close the little accordion door thing kind of deal on it in order to go up and down. It's pretty cool.
Have any of y'all seen the miniseries, The Lost Room?
The Lost Room.
The Lost
I
Room.
refuse to answer any
Yes.
question that starts with "Have you seen?"
Just embrace it.
Put it on your
That's
list,
what I do.
people. That's a fun little miniseries. Gallup, New Mexico reminded me of it. Yeah, this would freak you out too.
Surprise! And also
Like,
claw hand.
I mean, is that really that weird for that time period, though, to
No.
have a claw for a hand?
No, I mean, especially, people who were in the war.
Right.
Right.
He's
And
got the hookup.
here's the thing, though, about that. He does a lot of stuff in this movie where it would have already popped off of there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They were pretty good about keeping it straight, but there were a couple of instances where you could see it flex a little bit with his wrist, but they did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
He's almost like a Bond villain with it in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because he can punch through a door and hang from a building later.
Cary Grant is like Bond in this movie.
Right.
A
little bit. Yeah.
He's like, I'm okay. It's just my pride.
I mean, the guy's got a medal on his hand. He could probably throw a pretty decent right uppercut. I wouldn't want to fight him.
Yeah.
Look how she's wearing gloves. She wears gloves quite a bit in this.
Yeah. Check out the fire
Is that
escape.
for the thing, or was that a style? Was that a style at the time, or
Yeah,
that
it was a
just an
style.
on-camera
Yep,
thing?
it was
Yeah.
a style.
It was
at
the
the time.
style at the time.
Yeah. But also, not in the 50s and 40s, it was more like everybody wore gloves, but by this point, it started to be only like, richer people wore gloves out and stuff. Or if you were going
Yeah.
out like a Sunday, but they weren't long gloves like that. They were just like little, like, hand gloves kind of things with little doilies on around the wrist kind of deal.
I love he jumps to this window and there's a woman in there and she's like, ah, and she goes running to her husband. There's a strange man at the window again. And he went away. And the husband's like, bad luck.
It just happened again. You're just having a nervous breakdown, honey. Now, I'm sure that was not actually filmed as high up as it's intended to look, but that's still a decent jump, even from like a 2-story thing.
Yeah. To be such a big guy and have the name Herman, it's like, bad move, Herman. Bad move.
Uh-oh. Dum, dum, dum. They know each other.
Yep.
So the hook guy, the guy with the hook, I feel like I've seen him before. Like, is he somebody famous too that I'm supposed to know?
He's been in a lot. He's kind of a character actor, so he's been in a bunch of stuff. He was in The Dirty Dozen. That's one movie.
No.
Cool Hand Luke, Airport,
No.
Naked Gun 2.5.
Oh, probably like Naked. No, I don't know. I feel like I've seen him before.
Yeah, he kind of looks different in Naked Gun because he's older. He's got gray hair.
Oh, yeah. He's
the boss, the police commissioner or something.
Yeah.
Not commissioner, the sergeant or something.
I'm trying to.
Can't remember.
What the heck's his name again?
Don't let me down,
actor?
Shieldwall.
Hold on.
The actor is George
expert.
Kennedy. And
George
Naked Gun
Kennedy,
played
yeah,
he
that's
played
who it
Ed
is.
Hawken in Naked Gun.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So I forgot
he's been all
about this.
over.
There's also a guy named Carson Dial that was supposedly killed, and he
Yes.
and what's his name here is, or I don't know how much I should say, but whatever.
I'm trying to
he's posing as Carson Dial's brother to these guys.
Yeah, he's
Supposedly-
listed under one name on IMDb, but he's got like 5, and I cannot keep them straight. So don't rely on me to do that.
So his brother was part of their group that the OSS was trying to smuggle the gold in with, and
Right.
when that one guy lost his hand to a machine gun, the other guy got like hit all over with the same like burst of machine gun fire. So that's how he died, and then the other guy lost his hand from the same incident, and that's supposedly how they lost the gold. How the Germans captured it when that happened.
I think it's all hiding under the hook. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Be one heavy
Yep.
hook.
Or it could be that he melted it down into the hook and just put a some sort of paint over it to make it look not gold.
True. We got this figured out. Good show, guys. Good show. We figured it out.
I will be right back.
All right. We shall talk
So,
amongst ourselves.
What's in the dude's pocket? Is that a watch? The little thing hanging down?
His chest box? I guess so. Maybe.
That's like some kind of like little metal thing. I think it's like maybe a saint charm or something.
Yeah, I got it that it was metal. I was trying to figure out what it was.
No, I don't think that's because it'd be lower maybe if it was a clock, like a watch or whatever. But George Kennedy, and so Walter Matthau was in World War II. He was a B-24 Liberator radio operator / gunner. But George Kennedy, he actually was from an acting family, and he'd done like stage shows and stuff like that. But after he graduated high school, he joined the Army, and he served 16 years. He reached the rank of captain, He served under George S. Patton, fought in the Battle of the Bulge, and he earned 2 Bronze Stars. And he actually, like, when the war was over, he re-enlisted and stayed on into the late 50s, but he got discharged due to a back injury.
Whoa.
So it looked like he was maybe going to make the military a career, but it didn't work out. So then he went back into acting.
Wow. And so, I mean, he's obviously pretty famous. Not that I've seen any of
Right.
his movies.
And he's like, his list of stuff that he's done is astronomical. But my man was married 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
Oh,
So-
that's it?
Yeah, he got divorced until the last one, and she died in 2015, and he died in 2016 at age 91. So he has 6 children.
Wow.
Yeah, he was out there. Yep. But let's see, 46 to 59, 59 to 71, 73 to 78, and then 78 to 2015. So they weren't pretty lengthy. They weren't like some of the ones that you see where they were like married and, you know, and then like a year later, 2 years later, they got divorced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like probably the characters in this movie. I
But-
still don't think they were married a long time.
How many actors have we looked at, like these older guys that were married like 5 and 6 times? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But I will say I did pause the movie, not just because I had stuff that happened that I needed to do, but also because I need to watch a whole bunch of movies from the 60s and 70s and 30s and 20s. I love looking at the backgrounds. Like, I would stop and look at like all of the stuff decorating the houses, or like these curtains are pretty swanky, like the plaid chairs. Like, I'm like, am I the only person that pauses it because I'm cool? I'm like, look at the background. Like, I mean, I don't know any of these actors, but man, that background I'll never forget.
It's like Squeeka pauses it and goes, "Man, I really wish I could get these guys out of the way. I want to see more of those
I
curtains."
do. Oh my God, were you here watching it with me? I said that so many times. Will you just move? You're messing up my shot. Like, when she says you're blocking the view, I'm like, you sure are. Can you move? I do.
It is fun to watch these older movies and look at the styles and just the stuff in the background, like what the phones look like or the desk lamps or
Yeah,
the
I
curtains and
pause stuff all the
windows.
time.
Yep.
It's like, what is that? Oh, is that one of those? Yeah. So
Yeah, and if you
really
you
cool.
know, depending on like what your family keeps around, you know, like when I'd go visit my great grandmother when I was a kid, yeah, she had stuff from like the late 1800s in her house. It was crazy.
Like his jacket. I love his jacket.
Like he never takes the thing off.
I know. And the doorknobs. Like, it's weird stuff like the doorknobs, guys.
Oh, it's got the porcelain, the porcelain overlay on it. Yep.
Sorry. These are the things that I watch movies for.
Yeah, this must have been blowing your mind, because not only is it an older movie, but it's totally different country with different style.
People are like, it's got Cary Grant. It's got Audrey Hepburn. I'm like, yeah, they all right. Can you move?
It's got Cary Grant, yes, but it's also got the white doorknobs.
So he's like, he'll just stay out of my way. I'll take care of it. And of course, the big guy doesn't trust him at all. And he's like, which one of you has the room closest to her? He's like, give me the key. So he moves in next door.
I did pause it here when he was like, I got her to trust me. I was so mad at him. Oh, man, I'd say mad at him for probably a good another 30 minutes into the movie. I was like, I had to pause because, like, you punk. You make me mad. I liked you. You should get shot in the face with water again.
It's like, oh yes, I climbed in a different room. Everything's fine. Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Well, and then they've got the adjoining rooms too. That's what's cool. Like, they have the little door that connects the two. I love hotel rooms like that.
Yes, for when you want to pretend, you don't want the front desk to know that you're hooking up with somebody, but you're hooking up with somebody.
I confess, I knock on that inside door to see if anybody answers.
Somebody stranger just opens up. You go, "Hi, neighbor. How are you?"
Yes, I've done that, and then we ended up playing cards all night. Yeah, I did it. You never know who likes to play cribbage or not.
Fair.
See, like the lamp. Sorry.
The telephone. I mean, come on. The lamp, the telephone, the curtain with the tassel or whatever it is.
Yes, and they still have like on the wall. You can see the little bells to like ring downstairs.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's like, so he tells her that man is Carson Dial or Dial something. I can't remember his name. His second name here. Dial.
Oh wait, no, not Dial. It's
Dial, D-Y-L-E.
No, his other name, his other true name before his other true name before his other true name. Dang it! I'm gonna have to look up the names of this dude.
Yeah. So he tells her he's not who he says he is.
Now, is this whole thing shot in France?
I think a lot of it was. Let me see here. According to TCM, so. While filmed on location in 1962 in France, yes, filmed in France on location.
I mean, I thought so because everything's in French, but just wanted to check.
Okay, just come on, internet. Just give me a list of all this guy's names.
Yeah, through the whole movie, it's like back and forth. Can she trust him? Can she not? It's good.
Yeah, I do like the ongoing joke with him every time he reveals a new name. She's like, "Is there a Mrs. So-and-so?" And it's the, "Yes, but we're divorced."
That.
I'm going to use that line from now on.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks. I'll fix that. Yeah, I like what he does here. He gets his sock and kind of unravels it and puts like a trip thing. So if she opens the door, it alerts him. Yeah, it is.
Really clever.
Now, I haven't seen it done with like this kind of string, like from a pants, but my grandparents used to do this trick to us where they would have some, usually grandma's yarn, but like a tack and some yarn to make sure that we wouldn't open the door. That is a sneaky trick.
Okay, I got it. He introduced himself to her as Peter Joshua. The guy calls and says he's Alexander Dial. That's the first revelation to her that he's not who he says he is.
Oh, now we got Bartholomew again. In his pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
Swanky pajamas.
It's very convenient. He's always at home when she dials that direct number.
Right?
Hey, Cannoli.
I'm always at home if you dial my direct number. Even if I'm out, I'll tell you I'm at home.
So he's like, he didn't know who this Dial is, and they're going to meet at a market.
Yeah. Just sneak out and ignore the clattering sound.
Oh, he's got a gun too.
Scandalous.
Big deal.
And it's a revolver too.
3 near me.
Even more
you probably like his gun. It's a revolver.
I have one. Never mind.
Well, it's reliable. It's safe.
I mean, that's what's sitting on my desk right in front of me right now.
Don't leave any
Yeah.
cartridges anywhere.
Right. Exactly. Yep. No cartridges for them to pick up and
Look at
compare
the
and
little
all that.
turtle at the bottom of whatever that lamp thing was. Like, oh,
Yeah, it's compact.
looks like a turtle. I'm gonna call it a
I mean,
turtle.
Yeah, it is. It's like a little turtle.
It does. It's a turtle.
I do
mean,
kind of like
the
the fact that
wallpaper.
these.
You don't see wallpaper like that anymore. I mean,
Exactly.
unless you specially do it, it's just really a painted wall or something nowadays.
Jacob
I'm
feels
sorry. What
me.
were you saying?
I do like the fact that these hotel keys are basically like when you were like in like elementary school, middle school, and you had to go to the bathroom. They gave you the hall pass. It had like this giant thing on it, or if like you went to like
Yeah,
a corner store and you needed to ask for a key to the bathroom, that had like a 2x4 on it that said restroom, so you couldn't just stick it in your pocket
Right.
and leave. This is clever.
Yeah, this is
Sends a
clever too.
taxi.
She's like, go.
Yes, I jumped
Gets
up at
in a
this
different-
part and I was like, "Oh my god, girl, go, go, girl, go!" I get vocal when I watch movies.
Yeah, that was smart. Plus, this is smart too. The walk and talk, so nobody really can zero in on you. Makes it harder to listen in.
Yeah. I like what she says this a few times. She says here what is it? She says women make the best spies, and he's like, agents.
When they go back and forth, because like when they're first meeting, he said, "We don't really call them spies; we call them agents." Then the next thing out of his mouth said, "Yeah, the spies," and she goes, "Agents." He goes, "Yes, agents."
Yeah, right.
See, that's another thing that kind of like made me think, like, is it supposed to be more comedic than it really? I just couldn't quite get the feel of this at first. I'm not saying I didn't like it.
So
it just,
he tells her who Carson Dial is, and that he died or
he's
somewhere
dead.
is dead, and he has no brother, so kind of puts it in suspicion. Or does it happen yet?
No,
think
the
that
brother
happens
thing
yet.
happens later. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he says here, makes you want to go vegetarian. No,
No.
cut me
Makes
off a
me want
piece.
to go running through there.
No one ever wants to be vegetarian. Even vegetarians, they just don't know it yet.
I want to be cheesetarian.
So this is where he tells her that Carson Dial's dead, shot in the gut, or something like that.
He says something like, "We think that he didn't want to go along with their plan, and so they killed him to like take the gold for themselves," something along those lines.
Yeah, so they didn't have to split it 5 ways.
Yeah.
I love this. He's smoking, and she just takes the cigarette.
Right.
I think that's happening in a second when he has one in his mouth and he goes, "What's wrong with that one?" So, oh, nothing.
Do you know how expensive those are over here?
Oh yeah, she just stuck it. Yeah. What was wrong with that one? Oh, never mind. Here you go.
He's like, nothing. She asks him, what was wrong with that one? Nothing, I guess.
And again, her eating habits. It's the middle of the night. He orders coffee, and she like orders a big bowl of soup or something.
Yeah.
Either that, or it is a giant coffee.
No, it's like a soup with like big giant croutons
French-
on the top of it.
French
yeah.
onion. It's probably
Yep.
French onion
Yep.
soup.
Ooh,
No judging by the
Probably.
color.
Go for some French onion.
Yeah, that does sound good. or some broccoli soup.
Mm.
And it's the middle of summer. It's hot outside. What are we talking about? Man.
Well, that's when you just crank up the AC and then eat hot soup.
It's not hot. It's only like
Yeah, there you
100.
go. Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, that's certainly French onion. You can tell by the topping on it and the way it drips down the side.
Yeah.
This guy looks so
So
smug
he's
all
telling
the
her
time.
to just play along. He is.
I'm like, just his face makes me
I
angry.
think that's kind of that actor's thing. Just play a smug person.
It is.
Right in his face.
She gets to play agent now.
Spy.
Oh, yes, spy.
That is an ongoing gag in this, where they keep
Yeah.
correcting each other, spy, agent.
This guy,
Those cool glasses.
this guy, you can tell he's a tourist. He's like, oh, a woman sat down at my table. They don't ever do that.
Yeah, I think it's getting hung up every now and then. I don't know if we're getting necessarily every single frame you're seeing, Jay. We're getting most of them, though.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
It's probably StreamYard itself.
Probably.
Mando set it on fire. Am I the only person that wanted her to sit down with that guy so we could hear what he was about to say? Like, he seemed like he had something to say to her. And for a whole minute or two afterwards, I was like, oh my gosh, was that a major plot point? Are we going to see this guy later? Does he know where the money is? Is this the guy behind the picture? Like, I was working this guy that she sat with for a while. I was like, oh my gosh, where's he at? He's going to come back. I was waiting.
See, all that I was thinking of, like you are with everything else in the background and decor and such. I was looking at that camera case around his neck, trying to identify what era camera it was that was in there, and like, because I've got a couple of cameras that have similar leather cases, and that's where my mind was.
I think I have a camera just like that. I have like several old cameras, and like old movie cameras from like the 20s, 30s, and before mid-time. Like, I just have a bunch of them from my father's stuff, so it looked familiar to me. But no, I was too busy like trying to figure out where this guy was going to come back.
This is my oldest one. It's a 41, I think.
Very nice.
I'll send you pictures.
And he's just going around doing regular stuff.
Yeah, he's just checking his mail.
You've got mail.
I loved how simple the makeup is too. Like, it's not overdone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like nowadays there's too much makeup. I just love how simple her makeup looks. You can tell she's wearing some, but it's not like crazy overdone.
I mean, this is
they're mine. They're cameras I bought personally in my 30s from like 1924. Yep, they're mine.
Very nice.
I mean, this is a bold move of her calling him from right there, just down the row.
Yeah.
Dude, it's slick as snot. I was so proud of her.
She's like, I know who you really are. And he's like, oh, but I'm not. I'm his brother.
See, again. This is Hollywood. This is how you write a female character. Okay?
Yeah,
with
never once in this did I, yes, never once in this did I think, oh, this is unbelievable. They're just doing this because they want to make her seem like a badass. It's like, no. Even the sending a taxi ahead of time, I mean, that was just clever. I mean,
So
and
darn
especially
pretty.
later on when they're like she starts kind of like manipulating him like into her room. It's like, no, that's totally believable. She's just this
I
is
hope
like
it's a
this
gun in his pocket.
conniving little person. Oh, oof, yeah. So he got overheard saying, "I'm not." Or I don't know. This guy just wanted to double cross everybody. I think Mr. Claw
Yeah.
there just wanted all the money for himself. Say Mr. Claw, it's Scobie.
It seemed like they all did. Like each one was trying to,
Well, I mean that's kind of what
that's
you get
cool. That's
with
cool.
with no honor among thieves, so to speak. All right.
Okay, I would risk trying to get that gun. I mean,
because
there's going to be a delay.
Well, and from what we can see, on the outside of the grip are two metal prongs. So one is underneath the trigger guard, the other one's in the trigger guard, which I assume has some sort of pressure on it so that it doesn't just flop over, which means he's not squeezing the trigger. Again, this is another like beat that made me think, is this supposed to be more comedy than what I'm getting so far? And yes, I wouldn't call this a comedy, but there are definitely a lot of comedic moments in it.
That could be something you would see in Naked Gun. I mean,
yeah.
Or a Bond film.
Hey man, he's just that good with the hook. Okay, don't be jelly. He's just that good.
So they sit there for a while.
Jenna!
Yes, and luckily the security guards don't patrol the stairwell when they close the doors at night.
Yeah. Jenna, I love you. Sorry, okay, I don't know where that came from.
Let's go ahead and put it up there so everybody knows.
Yeah, this whole scene was good. I like this fight scene. He's like trying to get him to back over the edge.
I am disappointed he didn't do as much damage with that hook as he could have. He let me down here. Like, yeah. I mean, you obviously have a cool apparatus. I use it.
I will say, however, whenever he swings and hits one of the neon lights, I like the restraint in which it just like there's a small spark and it goes out. Because movies today, it would be this like epic super explosion of sparks and everything that's not completely believable. And I'm just like, no, I believe
like Highlander.
Yes,
like Highlander, God, all the sparks.
I want to know how he didn't get electrocuted.
I love all the sparks in Highlander, though. Yeah.
Yes,
that's true. There's probably rubber in between him and the metal.
Yeah, that or leather or something, some padding. But yeah, back up to where? That's the point. All right. Judo chop.
And it opens up. It's like, whoa! It's got claws on it.
I bet he's really good at cans and jars. I bet he's the savior of the neighborhood.
Yeah. See, now if this was a Naked Gun movie, that would be a running joke. People always bringing him cans to open.
Yeah, shouldn't have mentioned that earlier. My goodness, the chat is running away right now.
Man, what is going on?
I got you, Mando.
Ladies, this is a tense scene. It's a battle for life and death.
Okay, what joke? I won't do no more.
No, I've seen you hold it in so many times.
I have to.
I wish Arkazul was here. Then we'd have some real fun.
Look, they're hugging.
yeah.
They made up. Look, see, they made bestie friends again.
Aw.
Look, oh, but he got an owie. They were hugging
Yeah.
for a second.
Ow, my back.
But he does leave his buddy hanging. But
That was
On his
such a
poor
nice
suit.
too.
yeah,
Hey, he's got the high ground, okay? He's got the high ground now.
he does.
Ah. Oh, this part is good. It's like, oh, he's gone. And saved. Look, the hook is the wrist is turned there.
Yeah, there's a couple of instances. They did a pretty good job. Otherwise, I'm not going to knock them for that.
The way that's attached, it would have. I don't think it's like bolted to his arm. It would have fallen off. It
No,
would've pulled off
no,
already.
Yeah.
a long
it would
time
have.
ago.
I mean, at best, it would have had a leather strap that like tied around closer to his elbow and such. But yeah, it wouldn't have been connected that securely.
Now I have seen ones that attach above the like have a strap that go up over the shoulder. I have seen.
Yeah,
that.
it kind of all depends on what. Mostly, that kind of depends on what mechanism of other movement actually controls. like, the
Right.
claw
Also,
and
I think it
such.
depends on how much of his arm he had left. So if it
Yeah.
was just his hand, that's actually, there's a lot of things that they can do where his forearm muscles can help manipulate it, right?
Right.
Whereas if
Right.
it's at the elbow,
Just
It-
watch Mando.
yeah.
She's interpreting it for us.
Like how
I
would
love
he,
it.
like
This guy's like, sir, no, we don't put holes in doors, okay?
Yeah, it's like next time just use the keyhole.
Make my own keyhole. I don't need yours.
Use the keyhole.
I didn't notice the big hole at top when he first said that. When he was saying that, I was kind of halfway paying attention, and I thought he was talking about the tack hole at the bottom, and I was like, how did he say that? And then he whips out the little tape thing or metal thing, and he puts it over the patch on the top, and I felt really dumb.
And you're usually paying so much close attention to the background of things.
Well, I was looking at the staircase.
Yeah.
I mean, if confession time. I told you I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, and that looks like a nasty wound there.
It wouldn't feel good.
No.
Like she tells him in a minute, you won't be able to sleep on your back for a few days.
Mm-mm.
Heard that mute kick in. real
Moving
quick.
on. No. Let's put some of this
Look,
on
they
it.
match. How cute are
Ow,
they?
my back. Yeah. Ooh, look at the wallpaper on that wall. Looks like it has gold in it.
It is,
I wouldn't be
the whole-
surprised. It is France.
yeah. All the back and forth between them in this scene, actually in most of their scenes when it's just them, is fantastic. It's believable. It's slightly funny, slightly flirtatious. She's like, no, you need this. Don't worry, it's going to hurt a lot. It's like, is it going to hurt? And she kind of gives him a look like,
I mean, for someone in her situation, though, she sure is extra flirty. Is this like adrenaline flirting here? Or is this just like, I never liked the
I
dead
think-
husband anyways? Like,
I
is it
think
kind
it's
of a
survival
trans?
flirting.
Like,
I think it's survival
Yeah.
flirting. She is surrounded by very dangerous men. So
And
I
this
think
guy
she's flirting.
that she didn't, and she did. This guy, she doesn't know who is,
Yeah.
and he's the
So I
only
think
one
she's
being
doing
nice
it to
her.
make herself seem less threatening.
Right.
I don't know. I think she probably married her previous husband about 6 weeks ago, or her dead husband.
Yeah.
Because she certainly moves on quick. Because this whole movie covers the span of a couple of days.
Yep.
Maybe
That's right,
a couple
Janet.
of weeks at best. I mean,
There's
at
gold,
least a
and then
week.
there's everything else.
Because
I mean, she was
she
thinking
missed
about
the
leaving him
appointment.
for a while. So for most women, they leave mentally long before they physically leave.
I left hours ago.
I just want to point something out here. His shirt, look how far his shirt goes down. And his waist is like right here. Waist of his pants is right here. So the
Well-
waist is higher up and the shirt is longer.
Back then, your waist, where a man's waist was on his pants, was much higher. But as time
Yeah.
went on, it went down. A lot of people think that's because most men's guts have gotten bigger, so they gotta it's gotta
Probably.
be down by the lower waist in order to fit under their gut. But also,
But
style, fashion. It takes less cloth.
if you
Uh,
have a gut, it would hide your gut though.
No, because then you got the pants are wrapped around the middle of your belly, and that just looks bad too. You wind up looking like Wimpy from Popeye or something.
Okay, so where did all the shirt go then, Shieldwall?
I just
'Cause
wear
that's a lot of
girdles in.
shirt to tuck in. So how did you make
is.
it not
You tucked it in.
be all bulgy and perfect and flat?
Notice how the pants aren't tight. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Men's pants back then were not tight. They were fitted, but they weren't tight. Now
Hey
if they
there,
were kind of
Amelia
tight,
Bedelia.
like the really skinny legged suit pants from back then that kind of started taking off in the mid 60s, you would have your shirt wouldn't be as long.
All right. I didn't wear a lot of men's clothing in the 60s. I wasn't allowed to. So I don't know how that worked.
I see.
I'm with Jana. The fashion, though, is really way more awesome than it is now. And Jana would totally
Hey.
rock that whole little hat and coat thing. Just saying.
In the time period I grew up, people wore togas, so styles change.
I'm okay with that. A toga's probably pretty cool during the summer.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, togas were made out of linen, so very breathable material.
Yeah. I did wear less when I fought the Persians, but that's for another
Yeah,
topic.
well, that's for
of
flexibility.
discussion. Yeah, yeah. They're like really flirting here.
Yeah, she is all in right now.
Yep. And the phone rings, of course. And it's Tex. He's like, we have this little person over here, 6 or 7. It's like, that doesn't sound creepy.
No, yeah.
I forgot about the kid when he was describing this little person. I was like, is he got a door? Like, what is about to be introduced here? I totally forgot about the kid from the first part of the movie.
I love it. He's like, can you get this kid off me? My leg's falling asleep.
Jana, to be fair, I yelled that when that first happened. It's not the first time he puts his shoes on stuff too. He does it a lot. Jean-Louis. Jean-Louis. I like the way she says it.
It's like, we want to ask you some questions.
Ask
Of course,
away.
this is so good. Nobody trusts each other.
Don't worry, Amelia. Mando didn't either in preparation for the show. She has a good excuse. We won't get back into
She
it.
does.
But there was a good excuse.
We didn't
It's a really
start
good
the
movie, though. I
fire.
recommend it.
It was Mando the whole time.
I did not light my friend on fire. She caught on fire. There's a difference.
I'm just glad your friend's okay. And
Me too.
hope she heals quickly.
Me as well.
So they're like, you search my room and we'll search your room. And Herman's like, nobody's searching my room.
And he's quick to point out, I was like, oh, why is he so concerned? Just
Yeah, I don't
so
know if
that
I'd want to search his room.
discontent. Ugh, yeah.
Guy's got a hook, man. You never know what you're gonna find.
Yeah. Yeah, how many times they search this bag in this movie? Like 4 or 5 times.
And yet, we'll get to that.
Yes.
And that's such a large bag for so few things, honestly. I would have expected there to be more in there, them to suspect that something else had to be present because it was such a large bag.
Well, and she's not there to
Right.
explain it to them. So why don't they keep the one like the key thing? Like they don't know that that's a key because she's not there to explain that that's a key for something
point.
old, you know? So if this is the first time they're getting to open the bag necessarily, I would be like, oh, here's a key. I'm keeping this bad boy. I also like shiny keys and I have a collection of them. But that's just me. Like I would keep it in this movie too.
I need to screenshot that look for like Twitter responses. Just that look of, are you sure?
That look?
The one where he had his like eyes like tilted and his like head to the side a little bit. I don't know if we can. Yeah, that one. It's like that's a perfect reaction photo right there. I need to save that.
It is. It is.
Put a beard on it.
I'll send you a
Definitely
copy.
needs a beard.
I'll get a shot of it. So I don't forget, I'll do it right now.
You don't gotta do that.
I'll do it on screen. On screen. There we go.
All right, awesome.
I have the perfect caption too. Did you mean to say all those things, or did they just fall out randomly?
I love you, Mando.
I like it. I can't like sigh at you too much because you've been pretty good today.
I don't know. I did make Shieldwall disgusted with me because I haven't seen Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I think you kind of broke him. Yeah.
That I was just like, I can't. Well,
One
just
day
'cause
you'll
there's
get to watch
so
Mary
many other
Poppins.
people
One day.
on the internet that haven't seen stuff. Like, it's just. This is why everything's going to hell in a handbasket.
Wait,
Oh,
am I
no.
the
Yeah,
hell
so
in the
she has-
handbasket part?
Hello, Janet. Just found out you haven't seen Mary Poppins. We're
Yeah,
back on the
you're
topic
just
again.
a slight symptom to a bigger problem. Although Jacob's channel is trying to rectify all these issues by having us review
Yes,
these
I'm
high quality
working
old
hard.
movies. Yep.
So they find
So
a case
she asked the
there
kid,
that's-
where would
that's
you
heavy.
hide?
Yeah.
And the kid's like, oh, we found it. We found it.
It's like, no, I think he's like, we win, because he thought it was a game and everybody comes
Yes,
running.
I love when he goes tearing out the room. We won.
I mean, at that point, like somebody should be grabbing that kid by his shirt and yanking him back in the door and be like, shut up, you little brat.
I mean, look at that tablecloth, y'all. Look at it.
Okay. I don't know if it's still
He's
on
like,
the screen for you, Jacob, but that scene
oh,
with
it's
before that's got Cary Grant framed in the mirror. I have to think that's intentional as him having like so many different faces. Like there's two of him on camera at that moment.
That's a good catch there.
Because that is very intentional framing, having him just like squared up
Oh
in
yeah,
the mirror.
yeah.
That reminds me of that Laurel and Hardy skit where they're standing in front of a mirror, but they're off to set, and he's got the guy hypnotized. He's like, "Kill the man you see in the mirror," and he thinks he's seeing himself, but what he's really seeing, because of the angle, is the other guy. They're
Yeah.
seeing each other in the mirror. So he thinks that he's seeing that guy, and so he like starts trying to kill him. He's like, "What are you doing?" That was such a great shot. I remember that from being a kid, like seeing that on TV one time.
So it's like, oh, it's Herman's spare.
It's like, oh yeah, by the way, where is he?
I will say, for the kid that tore running down the hall saying I won, and the kid that like sprayed everybody with water, in that scene where they're standing there, he's just totes chill, just watching all these big dudes just talk. Like, he's just like, all right.
No, somebody had an accident in the bathroom.
Uh-oh. Oh, Herman. Poor Herman.
Couldn't hold it in.
I like what he says here. Oh, who would have done a mean thing like that?
Yeah. It's like, oh darn, now we get more. Now I get more money.
Yeah, they're like, we could just get him out and put him in bed.
Okay, we'll just try him off, put him in his bed. He doesn't look too terrible.
At least they like put him in bed, and didn't leave him there. Let him get waterlogged.
Well, but he drowned, so they find it's like a man drowned in bed in his pajamas.
There's dry drowning. It could happen. He could have like swallowed the bath water wrong, or drank shampoo out of a bottle like Mando does.
Yeah.
Mando, I don't know why you come back to these. You get beat up so much.
Because it happens in real life too. This is how all of my friends treat me. I don't know what.
This poor inspector. He's just like, every time he's like, I'm sure I know what's going on. I'm on to you. He's never actually on to them.
No, never.
Oh, and
he's like, which is it? Your name?
Yeah, Amelia, that's not her husband. Her husband died earlier in the film. That was one of the guys that was going after her.
Yeah.
I like the little dude in the background that was just writing down stuff that has nothing to do with nothing, and he's just back there taking notes. Like, he's the little white shirt in the back. Like, he's just back there, like, yeah. Don't mind me, guys. Just writing stuff down.
Everybody's got to have a clerk.
And he's like, we will be watching you. Not
you should
close
be watching
enough.
Closer, because you're not getting anything right.
You should get Clouseau. He knows what he's doing. Squeeka, have you seen the Pink Panther? Beard, have you seen
live
the
action
Panther?
or the cartoon?
Not the newest version with what's his name? I don't remember his name.
Steve Martin.
I've seen the cartoon. Let's put it as that. I've seen the cartoon. I have the cartoon. Okay. But I haven't seen the movie.
So you know who Clouseau is. That's all.
Yes, I do.
No, not yet, Amelia. At this point in the movie, we have no idea where it's at. Where the audience is just as lost as the characters.
Yeah, everybody is trying to find it.
And
some people think that she has it. Actually, most people think that she has it. at this point, but she doesn't know where anything is, and the audience, as us viewers, we have not seen where it is.
Cary Grant's character is also posited that everyone's looking for it. Maybe one of the people that are supposed to be looking for it already has it, but they're pretending
Yes.
to look for it so it won't incriminate them. Because if they like took off, then everybody's like, oh, that guy has it. So
Right.
he posits that some of them are just hanging around. That person is hanging around just so they don't look guilty.
More
Which is not
nervous
a bad
eating.
theory. Oh yes, gotta get some ice cream.
I love this part. It's so funny.
Again, with the guy just fixing his bicycle in the background. Like,
I'll just throw this ice
I
cream
want
on.
ice cream.
I think this is the part. Yeah. Let's see. I think originally, she uses the term assassinated. He used the term assassinate. And apparently they dubbed over it, at least for the original release, last minute to use other terms. Because they didn't want to put those words in because it released shortly after JFK.
Copa. Don't stand there, you
Okay.
idiot. Help me find my nose.
I think Jana needs this whole outfit. I think we need to just outfit her in all of these cool
Yes.
jackets and hats and gloves.
I agree. Don't forget the sunglasses.
I had a friend in college who was obsessed with Audrey Hepburn, and she had like the glasses and like some gloves that periodically she would just wear just because she could.
This is when the flirting gets like all out because they go into the room. She like immediately runs over to the connecting door and he's already locked it.
Yeah. And then she screams. It's like,
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna take a bath. She's like, really? Why don't you use mine? Because I wouldn't want to take a bath in there where somebody just died.
she's like, gotcha.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, we're just next door, so I'll hear you if you're in trouble. So yeah, she makes the scream. Here you go, surprise.
He's like, I'll just take a shower in here.
Apparently, the him doing it with his clothes on was a Cary Grant decision because he thought himself to be too fat, and the directors and everybody thought it was funny, so they decided to keep it in. But yeah, that was improv.
Yeah, he was kind of getting up there in age for taking a shirt off or whatever.
Yeah.
It happens.
So to answer Amelia here, my rushed calculations, $250,000 since 1963 is about $2.5 million today.
Jana beat you to it.
I want to find some stamps.
Yeah.
Let's go looking for stamps, Beard. But
yeah,
maybe we'll find some good ones.
I don't know anything about stamps. Never understood
me
stamp
neither.
collecting.
Me neither. No, yeah.
The fact that later we see a stamp market just blows my mind. Anyway, he plays this whole scene off really funny because he had mentioned earlier that the suit was drip dry, and he puts the glasses on so he can read the tag that's inside his suit saying that it's okay to wash while you're wearing it.
And that is a real smile right there.
Yep. Let's go ahead and screen cap that as well.
Did you get it? There it is if you need it. It's like nylon belt.
Yeah. He's got an answer for everything. The only thing he removed was his shoes because I assume that's the leather.
Okay, now this is where he calls and he's like, there is no Carson Dial had no brother.
Yep.
She's like, oh no.
Yeah, it's every moment that she's like, okay, I'm finally figuring this guy out. I think I think I'm liking him. This could work out. Every single time somebody calls her up, it's like, nope.
I don't know. He looks funny in that bathrobe. I don't know.
I ain't gonna lie, it looks comfy though. It looks really
Does.
comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes a comment like just a moment ago you were trying to get me to take a shower over here. Now you're acting like this. It's like, I don't know, maybe you need to eat again. You've only eaten 7 times today.
And she just outright tells him Carson Dial had no brother. I think that, yeah, it's coming up here.
I think I don't know. I think we might be lagging a little bit behind you. So yeah, I'm seeing the
No, I'm
table
just
scene
thinking.
now.
I'm just thinking ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Boy, I wish I could say I've never been sitting at a table where the person across me was sitting there with their head in their hand and just looking away and no conversation was happening. Oof.
But we've never had dinner together, so no, you haven't.
Oh, okay. Have to remedy that sometime. just so the tension can be there, the awkward tension.
I'll make sure it's my 7th or 8th meal for the day too.
I know Texas is a big state, but we need to have like a little Texas shindig or something.
I know I've met a lot of people through YouTube that are in Texas. It should happen sometime.
Well, this is
Peter
back-
I mean, I live in
changing his
Arkansas,
name
so it's
because-
I'm not too far.
Yeah.
No,
but
yeah,
you live in Arkansas.
Arkansas, you can, yeah, you're in Arkansas.
Arkansas is cool. I went to an old schoolhouse there. It's cool.
Old
There's
My
a lot
mom
of
was born in
mosquitoes.
Arkansas.
Back the one-room schoolhouse.
Yeah, it actually was. It's
Uh,
like a hunting lodge too. It's really awesome.
For Amelia's question here, why he keeps changing his name. Her husband, once he died, she found out that he had like 5 passports and 5 different names and wasn't who he said he was. And so as soon as this guy pops up into her life and she finally starts trusting him, every time she starts trusting him, she finds out he's not who he says he is. So he gives her another name. And then she starts trusting him. And then she finds out that he has a different name. And so it's kind of like she's reliving everything about her husband that she didn't already know. And all the while other people are trying to go after her to find this money and maybe try to kill her, and the CIA is involved. So it's just the whole thing is all about just the questions that along the way. You can't trust anybody.
Well, she specifically asked him too. She lays it out there and she says, "Hey, my husband lied to me all the time. You're not going to lie to me, are you?"
Yep.
That's when he does the whole black shoe thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm. Has anyone
So
been
right
on
here,
a,
right here, she just tells him Carson Dial had no brother. So,
Yep.
That's pretty good. What were you saying?
I was going
Shieldwall?
to say, has anybody here been on one of these like little where you go on like a boat and then you eat dinner? Those are
No.
pretty cool.
No.
Yeah,
They are really
classier.
cool.
Yeah, There's I can't remember where it
Hey,
was. There's a lake.
I drink tea out of a mason jar. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but well, there's like a lake in Texas. I went on a paddle boat and they had a dinner cruise kind of thing. It was kind of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to give them credit here for this small little audio detail in this. When
yes, I know.
they pass, because this has to be rear projection, because at night there would not be enough lighting for them to record them and this bridge. But when they go under there, they add the reverb and the echo. It's a tiny little detail, but it's so good.
It is.
I know, it was amazing. I watched the scene twice.
So what's his next name, Beard? Here.
Oh, let me pull up the list.
Oh, it's
Let's see.
it's Alexander. This is where he's Alexander, right?
No.
What was his last name?
Oh,
Yeah,
he
the
started as
thing-
Peter Joshua, then he was
Right.
Alexander Dial, then he was whatever the brother's Dial name was, and then he was Adam Canfield.
That's Adam. Sorry, never mind. Wrong A.
You were
Got
close.
excited.
At least by the list I'm going on. If they have left something out, that's not on me. Blame Wikipedia.
Oh no! I'm sure it's right. I was just like, oh, I remember it's an A name. But yeah,
And
Adam.
he tells her, "I'm a thief. I just look for other people's money."
Yep. Yeah, didn't she say something like you couldn't even be honest to me about? No, that's later on. Never mind. I'm jumping way ahead. Yeah, but he said something like along the lines of like he's just after the money, but he keeps getting distracted by like how amazing she is, and it's making him reconsider wanting to go after the money and things like.
Hottest pickup line ever.
The dude is saying all the right things to keep keep the play going.
I was like, oh hey.
See, it may work for him. I think if I said it, people would just like grasp their wallet a little bit tighter.
Dude, take my money. Take my money and call me Purdy.
And she asked him,
Sorry, go ahead.
Does this version of you have a wife? And he's like, yes, but we're divorced.
Yes. I like to think there was a little bit of truth when he first met her and that question first came up and he said, or I guess the second time that she asked him that, and he said, he was as difficult to live with as I am. It's like, I like to think there's a little bit of truth in there because you kind of get that. They always say that in spycraft. You want to base your lies on a certain amount of truth because it's more believable and easier to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
the best lives have a little bit of truth.
I paused a lot here because I was trying so hard to figure out what she was eating because it looked like one of those Jello contraptions from back in the day, and I was like, please don't tell me she's eating a Jello thing.
Oh, like those like tuna casserole.
Yes, it looked like shrimp and Jello or something.
Jellied eel. That's what it is. Jellied eel.
Oh.
I think men should take
Shieldwall coming
notes
in with
from
the humdinger. I'm like, oh, thank you, Shieldwall. I was hoping it wasn't.
Men should take notes here. Men that aren't married should take notes. What to say here? He's like, you should see your face, and she's like, what's wrong with it? It's lovely.
Hold on, I'm writing that down. You should see your face, Beard.
I actually can right now.
It's lovely.
What I like about him in this whole like situation is that he's always one step ahead of her as far as like what's going on, and he never relinquishes that. You know what I mean? I guess what I'm trying to say is he don't simp for her, basically.
Yeah. I mean, even when it's a situation that looks like he's lost his footing because like she's discovered something else about him, he's already got the next thing ready to go. So it doesn't actually.
Well, not only that, when she's like making it very crystal clear that she likes him, and he could probably, really push the issue, he doesn't. You know what I mean? Like he could have been like, all right, I'm going to get her in bed or whatever, and he never does that. But he could have if he wanted.
There was one point during this discussion, I think it was a little bit further back, where she said something about like him like always lying and being mean to her and stuff like that. And I just like in my head, I thought, oh, this guy has got the art of YouTube. This is NEGGING, nagging. That thing where you're supposed to be mean to a woman to make her like you. It's like, wow, is that kind of what this guy's doing? But no, he's not really. But he's also not being super nice to her at the same time.
He kind of was.
That's why I talk about Mando's shampoo bottle.
He does a lot of the push-pull with the flirting. So he gives her compliments and then he takes them away and puts her back down at a level. And
it's also in his situation it's strategic because it's keeping her at arm's length, but nearby enough that he can try to find out
exactly because of what he's do. Yeah, he needs to kind of work the. So he's not in it to try to get a girl out of it,
Why aren't the lights on? That's what I didn't understand about the scene. Like, did they purposely turn the lights off to? Oh, okay.
Right. So
was that on purpose?
Yeah, along the river, it's like a lover's lane kind of thing, and they're just like, "Hey, look at the lovers out here." I don't know. It's a little bit of a voyeurism, I guess, but who knows what the French are thinking anyway.
Isn't there a line that he said? I can't remember. Like, I don't know exactly how it comes up, but he says something like about while they're shining the lights on these people, he says something like, "I taught them all they know." Like, kind of like a suggesting that he's like,
he taught the French everything they know.
I don't know
Oh,
exactly.
did he now? Good job, Cary Grant.
Well, Amelia, the Cary Grant fits that bill, so
Oh,
it
yeah.
works for him. Yeah, any
Yeah.
other guy, he's going to HR or whatever. Cops are getting called because he gives them the ick,
That word
whatever that means. Yeah.
means
The
whatever they
ick,
want it to
what?
mean.
I didn't,
Yes, I said that.
I didn't hear ick at first.
No, no.
No,
I'm gonna be right back.
no, Squeeka, no.
Oh boy. Tisk tisk.
So this guy gets a anonymous phone call. He's like, okay, give me a minute.
Are you kidding? It's 3:30 in the morning, and I just kind of chuckled and thought, man, I wish I could go to bed before 3:30 in the morning.
What? What do you do? Play video games?
Oh, well, that's mostly because if I don't, I just lay in bed angry that I can't sleep. And I'd rather have fun for like 2.5 hours instead of be angry for 2.5 hours.
I prefer to be angry for
Yeah,
24
you know it's
hours.
bad when the lights go out. When the lights go out on the elevator, you know it's bad.
Yep.
I hope there's not a bomb on that elevator.
And it dips below into the basement.
You hear him scream.
And then the front desk guy finally wakes up and does something.
Oh. This guy's like, another dead one, and all in their pajamas.
Yeah. At this point, you would think they'd just like, send a couple of cops to just hang out in the hotel.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Her husband was in his pajamas too.
Yep.
He's like, 3 of them in their pajamas. And he's like, is this some new American fad? Dying
They're
in
gonna
his-
make
his
so much money
pajamas.
off the hauntings. I tell you what.
That's the thing that kind of got me is at no point when she's in any of this trouble does she call the cops or this guy, the inspector, for any kind of help. So I found that a little weird, I guess, but
I mean, I guess it could
Well,
be
she was
argued
told
that
not
she's
to go
got
to the cops. Remember?
Well, yeah, she was told that, but then she's also got these other guys that are kind of in on it that she's having to like play their game without calling the cops and making it seem like they might need to go after her more than they already are.
now I think she's kind of got the lie of the land a little bit and the feel for some of these guys. But when that dude was throwing the matches at her, like,
Yeah.
that might have been. I figured she would have called the cops on the guy.
I like what he says
Yeah.
here. If I were you, I would get out of my pajamas.
Yeah.
This guy's such a little
think-
dumpling. I love him.
I think kind of along with what Amelia is saying here, I think that was referenced on the boat where they were saying something about the last one standing is the one that's innocent. And like he said something along the lines of, so I have to die if you want me to, or the last one standing is the one that has the money and is guilty of killing everybody. And so
Right.
so I'll have
Didn't that
to
come up
die
after
for you
like
to
Herman
believe
or
me.
Harold or whatever his name died?
I think this guy, because there's only one more. It's those two and Tex left.
Yeah, it's
That's it. So
Yeah.
if it hadn't come up on the boat, it comes up very soon.
And Tex thinks he has it, and he's killed everybody.
Yes.
It was Shieldwall the whole time. Spoilers.
It was.
He just lures them in with that voice, and nobody can throw up their guard fast enough.
And then he gets rid of him real easy because he burns them with dragon fire, and they just disappear.
No, there aren't
Into a
really
puff of
like
smoke.
red herrings, like where they think it's like one thing, but it's another. It's more just people just start turning up dead, and they're like, okay, who could who could it be? They don't really do the whole who was where kind of thing.
No, the story actually plays out a little bit more,
Yeah.
I would say, believable to like how somebody in this situation would kind of not know everything or immediately go chasing after some dude. Like you see in some movies, like it's definitely this guy. They chase him for a third of the movie, and then it's suddenly not him. There's a big twist. It's just there are questions. It just leaves the questions unanswered, but not in like a J.J. Abrams kind of way. It's still progressing the story. Oh, and I like this when he pulls out the glasses. She thinks that they're part of his lie. She's like, "You don't need these. Oh, you need these."
That's
You
the
need-
face that people make when they see my glasses too. I feel for you, Carrie. I got you.
Yeah, everyone that you've seen die on screen, like in a bathtub or whatever, they're for real dead.
This part made me laugh. Like, who
She's
just
like-
tastes it like that? Like, it's just like, what? How can you just?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Cary Grant
'cause
tastes it like that.
At best, it's foot powder, and at worst, it's heroin.
No, it's
Well, it's
it's
toothpaste.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was like foot powder. Okay.
no,
never mind.
back so the,
Yeah, tooth
I
powder,
guess back
toothpaste
then
powder.
it was like a powder, and you just kind of put it on your toothbrush and wetted it, I guess, and made a paste out of it. So it wouldn't like
Oh,
get everywhere. It was easier to store in
as
like
was
a
the style at the
travel
time.
compartment. Yeah, yeah. We wore onion on our belt.
I wish I'd had that earlier on because I could have used it so many other times before now.
Yeah.
I like what he says. He's like, cocaine, peppermint flavored cocaine.
No, he said it was heroin because she asked.
Yeah.
Because her idea was
Oh,
is maybe
heroin.
he
Right, right.
He converted it to heroin, and so he could sell it. Although I don't think there's $250,000 worth of heroin in that little thing.
No.
Especially back then, it would have been the size of that chest of drawers behind her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That really cool swanky chest of drawers
Yeah.
behind her. Just saying.
Now I would have thought maybe there were diamonds in there or something. You know what I mean? Like in the powder or whatever.
Oh, now we see her actually at her job that she had to get back last minute
Yeah.
because
Yeah, she's a
she didn't have to have it
translator.
previously.
Right. This is what she did as before she met her husband, who's now dead. Is she
Yes.
translated?
I love this part. It's like she just starts speaking English and they're all like, what?
Right. So that's when the police first told her about her husband's death, they itemized all the stuff that was in his bag, all his possessions, and that was the receipt for that. And then
Right.
Tex got a hold of it, read it, and then tore it up and threw it in a trash can. So they were trying to go off of memory when they were laying on the bed there in the pajamas and stuff, what that was all there. But they forgot that there was an appointment book.
Also, just, dude, I know a bunch of the people in that room are faced away from you, but there are a bunch of them faced at you, and that's just glass. It's not a one-way, like,
You're right.
mirror kind of thing.
She doesn't have that job anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
I want to know how she smuggled him in there. Like, how did he get clearance to go in there?
Oh, he just walked in. That's
Oh.
some of the things about this movie that's a little plot hole-ish.
Well, I mean, no,
What?
look at him. The lady at the front desk just said, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how things were back then, I guess. But the other thing was that she had looked at the appointment book. They didn't have access to it now because Tex had it, but she remembered what it said for the appointment, and it was like today at 3 or something. And
it was Thursday at 5.
Thursday at 5. So they go to this park to see what the appointment is, and she decided apparently to wear a mustard-colored jacket.
And this goes back to what I was saying earlier about the time frame. And Squeeka said it had to be at least a week, but I guess we had moved on by that point. So yes, it had to have been at least a week because it's now the next Thursday. So yes, you were right, Squeeka.
Yeah.
Of course I am. I'm more Texan than you.
Oh, don't you even.
So they see Tex, and he goes following him. See what he's up
Yes.
to.
To the stamp market. My goodness, France. Oh, could you be any more French?
This was the height of excitement back then. Beard, come on now.
Yeah.
It wasn't just France. Like, this was a big deal. Like, Shield was like, it wasn't just France that did these stamp things. Like, I mean, this was a big deal to a lot of people, these whole stamp things.
Yeah, haven't you seen Brewster's Millions? He bought like this super rare stamp.
It's like he figured it out finally.
No, Amelia, not
He's
yet.
like, oh no.
I don't even think they've kissed yet,
Stamps.
technically. He like
No,
pecked at her
she
neck
has kissed
little
him a
bit.
couple times.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She was very forward with him when it comes to that.
It's
private.
Cary Grant. Who wouldn't, right?
This poor guy, he's like, I'm getting in a taxi. And then, he steals it. And then, I'll get this next taxi. And she steals it.
Right.
Or
So they
then
figure
the other guy
out
steals it. Yeah.
they figure out that what he did with the money is he bought some rare stamps, and that's how he could transport the value of it. Although if you put it into something like that, that's going to be hard to sell. Like, it's not, you can just sell it on a street corner. You got to take it to somebody who knows what it is. You got to take good care of it. You put it on an envelope like that and it gets mailed and it runs through the system.
But it
valueless.
wasn't mailed though.
It wasn't.
I don't think
No,
it
it
was
wasn't
mailed,
mailed.
though.
It
It was
wasn't
just-
mailed. But the chances of it happening, even.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hiding in plain sight, but still, somebody could have spilled ink on him or whatever.
Oh
and,
yeah.
Well, don't they lose value getting
Smashed
licked
it up and
too?
threw it in the trash. You know.
Like,
Right.
even just sticking them on the envelope, licking them, doesn't that make them lose value?
It does. It makes them lose value.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I'm
especially
saying.
back in the day, you could, I do know this, you could steam them to remove them without damaging them. You couldn't necessarily stick them again.
Yeah.
But they would still retain all that pristine condition.
It's just like a comic book that's been, somebody's read it. It's worth less than if it's in its original packaging. But in the Brewster's Millions thing, he had 30 days to spend $30 million and then he would get $300 million. So he bought one of these rare stamps and it was like worth like $500,000. And they're like, oh, he wasn't supposed to get an asset. We got him now. And he sent him a letter and they read the letter and stuff. And they were like, haha, we got him. And then they turned the envelope over. He put it in the mail. You used the stamp to send the message. So it's worthless now because it went through the system and it had like the lines on it and stuff. So.
Oh.
So
Tex thinks that I can't remember her name. What's her name?
Audrey Hepburn.
It's
Reggie Lambert. Reggie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Reggie. That Reggie has it and she's taken off.
Yeah, because he says that he thinks that she's been in on it from the beginning and that she's played them all.
Yeah.
Oh right, because the envelope is the stamps are torn off.
Yeah.
On the
Then she figures it out. It's like, oh, stamps.
What she had done is she had torn them off and given them to her the little kid to like play with or whatever, because he's a stamp collector. So now she figures it out.
Yeah, because that's a throwaway line at like the very beginning of the film where he asks her for those stamps. Or he asked her for stamps of some kind and she said she'll give him something.
Right. So he winds up trading them to this dude for like a bunch of worthless stamps.
Yeah, stamps.
10 francs.
10 francs.
That's the look of, oh, I'm about to throw you off a bridge, kid. Yeah, they run back to the stall and it's all closed up. Which, of course, if you had come across $250,000 worth of stamps in one trade, you'd go back and secure those things and inspect them to,
Yeah, you'd be running.
This dude's house, though, his house. I stopped it here.
I know. Look at all that stuff.
He does have a really nice fireplace.
Yeah. Well, I don't know
Yeah.
if this is like his house or it's like his shop. Like he has
Either way,
a shop.
they so cool.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's like something out of Harry Potter almost.
But yeah, he's got
And
stamps
he's
all over.
like, I knew it was too good to be true.
And this is a nice little plot. Like, I don't even really want to call it a twist, just a piece of the plot. Because, like, these days it would be over the top. They'd have to, do something dramatic or argue with him, or it wouldn't just be this kind old guy being like, "These are amazing. This is how much they're worth, but I don't even care how much they're worth. I knew this had to be a mistake. Here, you can have them back." And
Yeah.
then right at the very end, he says, she's like, apologize. He's like, don't worry. For a moment, they were mine, and that was enough.
I like the
And
fact
that's
that
like-
the movie
Yeah.
takes the time to
And,
explain them.
If I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
yeah. If I'm not mistaken, these are actual real stamps
Are
I
they?
believe
that really are that expensive.
That's cool.
But yeah, he explains it like the first two are like, it's like 25,000, 86,000, and then the rest of the values in that
The last one is like
stamp
100
on the
grand.
right.
Yeah,
it's
the
like
stamp on the right with the
140 grand
bullhead on it is
almost,
like
yeah.
100 grand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bullhead.
But I like that he appreciated their value enough to understand that that was not a fair trade, but also that just the fact that he was able to witness something that rare and be in his possession for a short amount of time was enough for him. Like he was satisfied because he appreciated the art. Like he said at the beginning of their discussion, it wasn't about the money or the value of the stamps. He appreciated the art and the
Right.
history. And for a character that's on screen for so little, I really like that old dude.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
Good
won't find
character.
people like that nowadays.
Not often.
No.
If you do, sit down and let them tell stories.
Yeah.
If you do, I've got a lot of antiques I need to offload, so hook me up with them.
Oh,
I nearly made a comment earlier about I bet you love antiquing.
at least he's not in his pajamas.
I don't like doing it, no, but I have some.
Oh, poor dude. And he wrote dial.
Yes.
So, kind of like, how conveniently he's at home again.
So I was under the impression it was dial, like D-I-A-L. Ain't gonna lie. So I saw that and I was like, oh man, I don't know how to speak French. What does that say?
You were probably too distracted by the background because he does spell it at one point early on. When he goes to pick up his
Ain't gonna
mail,
lie.
you're probably looking at the staircase or something.
Oh yeah, he does spell it, but I still didn't. It didn't click when I saw it on the floor, like written out. I remember him spelling it then too, yeah. But I was like, "What is this French?" Oh man.
Yeah, you see this image. Oh, isn't that, look at the artwork on that bed. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. Look at that line work.
Yeah, this is probably the most like creepy death or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You- Yeah, whoever did
You know, all
that,
things considered-
it was personal.
Yeah. All things considered, she's handled experiencing so many deaths in a week pretty well.
Did y'all
Maybe
hear what I
she
just
is the
said? I
mastermind.
blacked out.
I mean, that's
Whoever
always been
killed
the
him,
possibility.
Whoever killed
Sorry,
that
go
guy, it was personal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She relays the information. Tex is dead. There's only two of them left. She didn't do it. It's got to be the man of many names. Yeah, so he sets a rendezvous point so they can meet up and hand over the stamps. And This was the chase scene that y'all were talking about, where she's running in heels and everything,
Yeah.
and she does some serious running.
Oh yeah. So not only is she in heels, but the amount of running she does is impressive.
Yeah. And considering what she's wearing, she's doing most of those leg strides from the knees down.
Yeah.
It's not that constricting, but she doesn't look like she's
Dude.
got full range of motion in that coat.
It's hard to run in those kind of skirts and coats, like those little pencil type
Yeah, I
cuts.
bet.
Those are hard to run in.
Tell me about it. Never again.
I mean, with calves like that, you got it in the bag. We know.
This is a nice little tense scene because she's got nothing to do except wait for the train. So she
Yeah.
can't continue to run because her only out is the subway. He just happens to come down the other side to try to cut her off. And then gets stuck on the other side of a locked door. And again, another tense little scene where they just staring at each other through the window.
I'm surprised she's not eating. Like,
Yeah.
Like as she's running, she's like grabbing something off of like a food like stand or whatever. Just reaching over, stealing some kid's bag of like salted peanuts. He's like, I got it. Sorry, kid, I'm stressed. I have to snack.
give me that croissant. It's mine now. Oh, the
So
phone operator. This machine.
I think Amelia earlier, Copa hopped in and said something along the lines of this is the best Hitchcock film that Hitchcock never directed. So yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she ducks into the phone booth and calls the embassy office because she doesn't have the direct lines on her, and he's out of the office and she's trying to get help. God, that's a great framing.
I love this part where he doesn't look in the telephone booth. That's so
Mhm.
awesome.
And this is when we get our first real revelation.
Yeah.
Because she calls the office of Hamilton Bartholomew at the embassy, gets the secretary, who then calls to where Mr. Bartholomew actually is, and this is not the Mr. Bartholomew that we have been introduced to this entire film.
No. Nope.
He even says one line is like, who does she think I work for? The CIA? It's like, oh, well, just call the police and send them. There is the guy that we have been introduced to.
And
soon
we
as they
don't
see each
realize
other.
who this other guy is until he says, that man is Carson Dial. It's like, oh no.
Yep.
This scene made me so angry.
How so?
And he's got a Luger. You can tell he's a bad guy because he's got a Luger.
Yeah. Why'd it make you angry, Squeeka?
So we
I'm waiting
find
for
out
him to
those
get
other
there.
four,
Okay.
the other four, including her husband, this guy got shot in the gut and they just left him for dead.
Yeah, he said like he got 5 rounds in the leg and the gut. And they
That
just
hurts.
decided, nah, you're all right.
We'll take the
Yeah,
money.
but that
Don't
one
worry.
dude lost his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he wouldn't be very good at, carrying your buddy out with only one hand. But as many times as, because, okay, so between these two dudes, one of them may have lied to her
Yes,
about who he
German
was
gun.
once. And the other one has lied to her about who he was multiple times. But the guy who's technically been more truthful statistically or potentially is she's been told is the bad guy, and the guy who's lied to her a whole bunch she's being told is the good guy. So her confusion here is I kind of understand it. She's been like her entire world has been nothing but lies for the last week and a half.
Yeah, but if you're used to somebody lying to you, you kind of know what's going on. Whereas this one, she's really trusted, and this has been her go-to guy, and now he's pulling a gun on her. So that's going to cut a little deeper. And this part,
at first, whenever like he's trying to win her over and say, no, he's lying about who I am, that's very understandable. But when he just like straight up says, I'm going to kill you, they left me there, and admits who he is, at that point, she just needs to run away. But yes, when he misses,
I was so mad. I was like,
that really draws attention to the line he said earlier about if he kills you, he'll still have to come out and get the stamps. And from that range, I bet I won't miss. I'm like, no, we've seen you from closer. I think you might have missed him. More chase scene. Oh, and I just got to say, overall in this film, especially the night scenes, the lighting is fantastic.
Chandelier. Wow.
You read my mind, Jacob. I don't feel so alone when Jacob says it before I do.
This whole scene here is just really good. The tension rising and
the harsh lights and the dark shadows.
Yeah. And here is walking above him.
Yeah, she's still kind of thematically stuck between them, even though she's not going to go with Dial because he's trying to kill her. But like she's like halfway between the level he's on and down here where, what's the name he's going by now? Is
Adam.
Adam Canfield.
Yeah, the
that's right.
Guy. Look at that cool mummy in the background.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's stuck. Her only way out is up towards the guy trying to kill her. But he hears her kind of trying to jiggle that handle a little bit and tries to get up to her.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good too. That would be hard to figure out where he is and pull the right one.
Yeah. I'd never considered that there would be stages where it would make sense that you'd have a lot of different places where things could pop up or down. That way it wasn't always in the same place for every single production, but I guess I had never really thought about it.
No, me neither.
And they do a good job of showing it to you here and explaining it to you if you don't know what it is, because I didn't, without having somebody go, oh, those are all trap doors. I bet if I find the controls, I can drop him down.
Yeah.
Also, somebody needs to teach Walter how to hold a handgun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even for the 60s, buddy, come on.
Yeah.
He's still doing better than the Hook guy.
Impressive.
Yes, he is doing better than the Hook guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was great tension. He's listening for where he's walking. But he's also it's an unfamiliar thing, so he can't just immediately move his hand without having to look over and look at labeling, so he's having to divide his attention.
Right.
And then Geronimo, say goodbye to your ankles.
Ankles? You didn't need those anyway.
Ouch.
Nah. He survived getting shot in the leg. He barely had one of those anyway.
Like the scene in what was it? The Dark Knight, where he drops the gangster off just high enough to break his ankles.
Yeah. Yep.
She deserves a foot rub. She's been done a lot of running.
In heels. But
Dude, more than a foot rub. The amount of tension she's been under? Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's basically, I think she like testing him. She's like, you know, are you sure it's not about the stamps? Tell me, I want you to tell me to take these to the embassy tomorrow. He's like, well, you know, the thing is, she's like, I'm taking them.
Yeah. I like this. She's like, soldier. And he's like, I'm a Marine, ma'am.
And also, you'll notice he looks away so that the Marine doesn't recognize him.
Yeah.
So you've got that one last.
Like, I'm going to wait out here. I don't think I can see that money go so easily.
All right, suit yourself. And thinking ahead as far as set, there's a door right behind him. I like that. It's little things.
Yeah.
Continuity.
Yep.
So smug.
Yeah, she goes in to see Mr. Crookshanks. He makes that face.
Yeah, that's a face you need to answer people with right there. What?
Yeah, this is the point. I don't know exactly where in this dialogue. Again, fantastic back and forth between them. But this is where she says something along the lines of, you couldn't even be truthful about being dishonest.
And she's like, is there a Mrs. Crookshank? And she's like, and he's like, yeah.
Yes.
My mom.
Yeah, he lets it hang just for a little bit as he slowly pulls a picture out of his wallet. He's like, yeah, my mom, she lives in New Jersey or wherever he says. And she's like, how I can't trust you. I need to see evidence. I need to see some ID. And he's like, yeah, how about I put it on marriage license next week? And she's like, no, I need to see something. A marriage license?
I know when he said that, I was like, excuse me? What the what? It's been like 2 weeks. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Pump the brakes for half a second, dude.
I like she lists all his names.
Yeah. It's like, I love you, Peter, Alexander, Adam, Brian, and whatever the other one was that was the brother.
Beard is storing me for future aliases.
I've got aliases already. No, never mind.
I've only found 4 of them, though.
Keep looking.
And that's it. So good. Love that movie.
It's a lot of fun.
I need to rewatch the intro again.
Yes. So yeah, I watched this movie kind of regularly over the last few months, but it's good. It's good. I haven't even seen the new one. I don't really care to see the new one, really.
I'm not mad, Amelia. You're right.
Who, like Cary Grant, or like the character he plays? Because I mean, I know some guys that probably have like 5 different names and or side chicks, or like, I mean, it was a really fun, Amelia. It was a really fun movie. It's really cute. Even knowing the plot, I'd like watch it again, just so I could actually watch it, and not stare at the background all the time.
Yeah, this
and
is
like
one of those
always,
that
it's one you can watch over again. So
yeah,
I always love those movies.
Knowing the plot doesn't ruin the story in something like this.
Mm-mm.
Actually, it makes you pick up on a lot of other things that you didn't notice before. That actually makes it more interesting.
Right. Right.
Like the guy holding the gun. I didn't pay attention to the way the hook was holding the gun. I'm sorry, and now I can't unsee it. It just makes me giggle thinking about it.
Even if I see a movie just once for one of your streams, Jacob, I've said it many times before. When we go frame by frame, like we're not frame by frame, but when we go to stills through the film, like we do, there's always something else I didn't notice that is only noticeable if you know later on plot points. And little things kind of like how he looked away from the Marine, which I think was probably intentional so that he didn't get recognized for being somebody who worked at the embassy.
Right.
Anyway.
So now Mando has to watch it.
Yes, you have to come back next week. Make sure you do your homework.
Yes.
Yeah, Mando. No more fires.
I make no promises about the fires. And as I stated earlier, I did not set her on fire. I was there when she got caught on fire.
Okay, sorry. Let me rephrase
And
that.
then,
No more
and then you
accomplice
sprayed
firing.
her with water.
I did spray her with water.
You helped her.
I did. I helped.
That's good.
Got her wet. Oh, good job, Mando. Good job. Save a life.
We make jokes, but that was actually a serious thing. And if you hadn't been there, it would have been way worse. Yeah. So I just want everybody to know that we're not that. Oh, hang on. I had my audience or the rest of the group. I have to rephrase this. We're not that mean. I was going to use a different word, but there were going to be jokes that were going to come after it. We're near enough to the end of the stream that I don't know if the filters are going to filter anymore. So,
yeah.
I was just really proud of the little icon, the little picture I found with the stamp looking thing. I'm just going to say I was really proud of myself for this. I felt cool like Jacob for a second.
Amelia, yes, I did not set her on fire. Just because the blowtorch was in my hands does not mean I did it.
Correct.
But I love this movie. Now I've got to go back and watch more Katharine Hepburn movies, apparently.
Yeah.
And
watch Roman Holiday. That's a good one. It's got Gregory Peck in it. But I think she's like a teenager in that one, too. So.
I'm going to be honest. You say these names and they sound really impressive, but I have no idea who you're talking about.
You'll recognize them.
I've only learned a bunch of these like old actor and actresses' names because I've started being here.
It's like,
I was raised by my grandma, so I was educated.
Yeah, what movies do you like? Oh, I like. Yeah, I'll be talking with somebody about movies, and they'll be like, "What movies do you like?" I'm like, "Oh, I like this and this," and it's like, "Who are what? I've never heard of those movies."
Well, I like this movie. Like, I love the older movies. I've just never seen them. Like, I didn't grow up watching a lot of TVs or movies. I mean, we did things like played card games, like old people cribbage and bridge, and did puzzles and stuff, like cooked.
My family did Yahtzee.
Yeah, we did some Yahtzee too, and some Scrabble.
I'd go outside and dig holes and then like burn army men. So I was like a go outside and just don't come home until you can't see your hand in front of your face kind of redneck kid.
We had this old school, like, I don't know who made it, like metal Jeep from, I swear, probably like the 1920s. I don't know. It was just an old Jeep toy, like metal Jeep. We would put Barbies in it and then put a bunch of black cats under the ground and like them and see if we could get it. Like,
yes.
Like, man.
Yes.
Now I know why Squeeka stays behind an avatar. She's on a list somewhere. Talk about having aliases.
Oh.
This is only my 13th or 14th.
I would throw poppers at my friend's feet, so it's quite comical.
man.
Me and some of my friends would shoot Roman torches at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I
Or we
did
played
that, but I
games with
did
pool
do
balls.
Roman candles. I did do the bottle rockets at people.
We would do things like play dodgeball with pool balls. That was interesting.
With what? Pool. Ow.
Pool ball.
Ow.
You really don't want to get hit because that might be a concussion or a spinal injury.
It left a good bruise. It left a good bruise. I'll tell you that. I mean, you hurt the next day.
Yeah. Me and my brother would throw rocks at each other, so. And he got me good one time, right between the eyes.
I was playing pitch and catch with one of my uncles, and I got hit in the head with it.
No, it's actually funny. My brother is like 6'5", so he's like 5 inches taller than me. So he was Goliath throwing rocks at me. So
I like that. Free range kids are fireproof. That's awesome.
Yes.
Although maybe don't throw around the term fireproof right now with Mando. It's kind of a touchy subject.
Yeah. We don't need to find out how fireproof we are. She's already tested one friend.
She's never coming back now. Anyway, we better wrap this up before we actually just like rage quit the internet.
I love you, Mando.
Do we want to rate this? I don't know. I really don't like rating things, but let's do it. Go ahead. Just throw it out there. Beard, what?
If I know I'm going to be in some place where somebody's going to ask me to rank something, I think about it ahead of time. I did not think about this ahead of time.
Gosh, such a disappointment.
I know, I really am. That's what every woman tells me.
I've joined the list.
I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to think on it a little bit more because, like I said, with me, I was having a hard time figuring out what was exactly like how I was supposed to handle the movie in like the first half. And the second half, kind of like once it's solidified into the story that it was telling, I really enjoyed a lot more. I think I probably need to watch it again before I can give it a solid rating for myself. Because I think I would probably rank it a little bit lower than it deserves. But I don't really know what that is.
Yeah. I'd give it an 8.5. Just or 9 because of rewatchability. So.
Okay.
Shieldwall, what do you think?
I liked it. It had like a couple of minor plot holes. Like, really, this dude just rolled into the American embassy. If you've ever been to an American embassy,
Right.
the security is extremely tight. This guy couldn't have just wandered in there and be like, "I'm going to set up shop in this office." And pretend
especially
like I'm here.
Especially in the time period with the Cold War. I mean,
Cold War and everything. Yes,
you're not just walking in there,
right? Yeah, exactly. And that, and then just all the noise and everything going on in the hotel. Somebody would have, like the cops would have got called at least once.
Yeah.
All this stuff, yeah. But other than that, it was a decent story. It was pretty well acted. I don't know. It just didn't. I liked it, but it's not. It's not like my favorite movie of the era. Audrey Hepburn was awesome in it, obviously, but it's no North by Northwest by any means.
No, but yeah.
I did enjoy it.
Squeeka. Good.
Well, that intro. I'm sorry. That intro is getting a 10 out of 10 every time. I'm sorry. The intro is getting a 10 out of 10. I'm with Shieldwall on the plot holes. that's gonna drop it down to like a 6 for me, because I was the same way. I was like, wait a minute, like why is this going on? But at the same time, I loved like her outfits and all the background stuff. So I'm gonna give it probably like a 7 for Katharine Hepburn and all her cool outfits. But yeah, the plot holes did it in for me. But that intro though, it gets a 10 on its own. Sorry.
Now, what if you factor in the sets and the backgrounds and everything?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll give it a 7, maybe a 7.5.
Okay.
But I'd watch it again.
Mando, after you watch it, you'll have to give us your number.
I shall do so. Mhm.
Okay.
Give us a flame counter
okay,
on
let's
it.
go around the horn. Yeah. How many flames out of 10? Yeah. Okay, let's go around the horn and say what's going up for us. Beard. Good sir.
I think just ran a little bit late, so I think I'm going to skip out on the stream that I was going to join late in a little bit, so I have some time to breathe, because in about an hour or so. No, it's not your fault. It was a last minute thing, and I told him ahead of time that best I could say was a maybe.
Oh, okay.
Because this is what I commit to on Tuesdays. Anything else is a maybe. So in about an hour from now, 10:45 Central Time, where I am, I'm going to try to do some more streaming of Fallout London on my channel, at Beard of Liberty. That's been a lot of fun. Hopefully I won't get jump scared by a rad roach this time.
Dude, that made me scream and drop my phone. I was watching that in the dark. Like, I just sat on the side of my bed. I lost my snot tickles. That scared me. And then you screamed, scared me even more. Like, I was kind of okay with it. Then you did your little scream. I mean, not that you screamed. I mean, I would never say that out loud that you screamed.
Very manly, a manly yell.
I let out a manly but anyway, Thursday I'll be with Roman of the Empire for the movie Them. Sunday back with Stark of Iron and Snail Messiah for some more Fallout shenanigans. And they are going to have me be kind of updating my Fallout London playthrough, so that's kind of fun. And then Monday after the weekend, I don't think we've settled on exactly what we're doing next, so I can't announce a movie. But we're probably going to pivot back to what we have been doing previously, 80s and 90s. Not really anything as modern as we did for the month of July. So check that out.
Okay. And drop your link to your channel in the chat.
All right.
Shieldwall, what do you got?
I'm going to be on Roman's Thursday stream, and that's it for right now. I guess whatever we're doing next week.
The X-Files.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. The X-Files. Yeah. Looking forward to that. Yep. That's what I have. Thanks for having me on. It almost didn't happen, but I'm glad I was able to make it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Scheduling things and stuff. So it's also great to be on with Squeeka. It's always a good time. I just noticed, is that supposed to be a stamp in your little profile picture?
You weren't paying attention.
I mentioned that. You weren't paying attention. Yeah. I was so excited. I'm like, look, I'm like Jacob. I found an appropriate icon.
Sorry, I'm a little distracted
it's okay.
today, a little tired and stuff, but
it's Katharine Hepburn. I understand. I'm distracted too.
Yeah.
Are you rewatching the intro? Because that's what I would be doing.
With the weird colors and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that's what I got going on coming up. But yeah, it's great to be here. Also, thanks to the chat, everybody in the chat, and Amelia for being so interactive and asking questions.
Yes, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah. Squeeka, do you have anything you want to?
I have no idea what I'm doing. I know that I'm possibly going to do more work with Pops on Tuesdays for Talk Hard. I'm going to try to make that. But other than that, I don't really have anything that I have committed to solidly. I got to hang out with you guys, so thanks for having me. And Mando, and I got to listen to Shieldwall talk. Um, but and it was a fun movie. Like I was excited. It had me going from from the get go. But yeah, I don't really, other than the thing with Pops on Tuesdays, I think that's the only thing I've kind of sort of committed to. I know work's about to start back up in all of its glory. Well, it kind of has, but so that's going to keep me busy. But thanks for having me. Thanks for, like Shieldwall said, thanks for the chat, for being here, and thanks for letting me gawk over all the background stuff.
Yeah.
What we do here, we spend half the movie talking about like butter dishes and cool things, and then doorknobs made out of, crystal or whatever.
Wait till we get to a movie with washers, though, Shieldwall. I'm on that.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, it'd be like, Squeeka, is that a top loader or a side loader?
Mando's the only top loader I need.
That's right.
But thanks for having me
We've
on.
been really good.
Hang out.
Excuse you.
Yeah. Good to have you on. Anytime. Mando, what do you got?
I will also be on Roman's Thursday show to continue the theme of where in the world is Untamed Mando. I am actually going to be starting tomorrow house sitting for a friend of mine, so I have no idea what kind of streams, if I'm even going to be able to stream at all. So you might see me on other people's streams. But yeah, I'm all over the place right now.
Oh, real quick, that stream on Roman's show on Thursday is going to be the movie Them, which is sci-fi 1950s about giant ants. It's awesome.
Not to be confused with They Them, The Journey.
No.
That's a much scarier film.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And the reason that I know about this movie Them is because there's a quest in Fallout New Vegas where it's called Them, and it deals with ants. And so somebody told me, or I read somewhere, that it was based off of the movie. So I went and looked up the movie, and then I saw it. I was like, that's cool. Also, I remember seeing it as a kid, like on TV, little bits and pieces of it. But it's a really
wait. So it's set in Fallout?
No. Oh. Fallout took the idea because they're giant ants created by atomic blasts, right?
Okay.
Right.
Like, dude, you got me so hyped up.
1950s, like Godzilla is from there. There were all these different movies where
there's a giant spider movie that was created.
Spiders.
I love the giant spiders. Oh, my heart.
They were all caused by all the atomic tests everyone was doing. Radiation made everything bigger and stuff. And Fallout, of course, that genre runs with that. You got rad roaches and golden geckos and all kinds of irradiated creatures. But they took the premise from the movie Them, but it's a good movie. It's great, classic sci-fi. So we're going to be going over that on Thursday.
I'll try to watch it so that way I can heckle from chat and sound intelligent.
I recommend it. It's a good movie. Lots of fun.
Yeah, it is. It's surprising. It's a surprisingly good movie for the subject matter.
It is. The plot's really good. Like, it doesn't. And yeah, just the way that. And you got to remember, it is a product of the 50s. They didn't have like CGI and stuff. So they're
using their CGI of the day.
Yeah, there'll be some. Some
puppetry
areas where it'll be a little kind of hokey, but most of it is really good.
Yeah, I agree. And next week will be the Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone. What am I saying? Next week will be the X-Files, episodes 12 and 13. I think 12 is Fire. I think that's a good one. That's one of my favorites. But
Fire. You on to that one, man?
I believe she is.
Oh man, that's so unfortunate.
I'm sorry.
It is.
Forgive me.
Well, okay. So now, next, I actually will be on. I'm usually on Matt's channel on Fridays, just talking stuff that's come up during the week. And I think I might be on Potatoes, Raven's show. He does some true crime episodes that are kind of fun. And I will also be on the Romans show, the Them movie. And that's about it. Thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging with us. Thanks for Squeeka being here and the panel. And I'm serious about this. I thank God that Mando's friend isn't more seriously injured, and I pray that she has a speedy recovery. So
Yes.
everybody have a good week, and everybody have a good week, and we will see y'all next time.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.